At the Okoli Law Group, we specialize in producing justice. If you or a loved one in the Atlanta metro area is facing serious criminal charges, then you need serious legal representation.
The Okoli Law Group is here for you. The Okoli Law Group is here for us.
The Okoli Law Group, serious legal representation.
Dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ dára púpọ̀, ẹ̀kọ́ ló láyé táwa yìí sẹ́. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa, bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa. Ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dẹni gíga, ẹ̀kọ́ ló ń gbé ní dépò ọlá. Ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa. Never lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa, ẹ dákun yé ẹ̀yin òbí wa. Never lówó kẹjọ kẹtọ́ wa.
Oh, get this. The camera's kind of fuzzy. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Oh God, come on now. Guys, give me a second. We got some technical difficulties. Hold on. Come on, camera. You gotta focus. Yeah, there we go. Bam. Thank you, everyone. Shout out to everyone. Again, shout out to everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. And once again, thank you so much for joining Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Once again, thank you so much for joining. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Listen, the beard journey. Y'all been laughing at my beard, but listen, we got this little spot right here. It's starting to connect, like it's getting better. All right, I've been using my juices and berries every day, and it's been getting better. Okay, the beard has been getting, it's coming, you guys. Again, come October, if it ain't there, I might quit my beard journey, but it's coming. It's gonna fill in. Okay, all right. Hey, listen, royalty, y'all leave my beard alone. Okay, what is an African beard? They got beards in Africa. What's an African beard? What's an African beard? They got beards in Africa. It's just my beard is struggling. Again, my beard is struggling. Laugh aloud is going to be okay, my guy. Listen, y'all gonna stop making fun of my beard, okay? But again, I'm working. Thank you, Wildflower. Dynasty is very handsome. Thank you so much, Wildflower. Because we got royalty hating on my beard. Again, because we got royalty hating on my beard. All right, the beard is coming. The beard is going to fill in, okay? I'm going to pray every day. Like, and then she didn't say tethers can't grow beards. Oh, okay, I guess. Cut it off. You can't get the James. I'm not trying to get the James Harden. My beard has been struggling for 48 years. Listen, I just started growing my beard last October. Last October is when I started growing my beard, and I said I'm gonna keep at it for at least a year. So we in July. All right, we got 3 more months. We got three more months. We're gonna get into that. Let's see if Trump brings peace to the Congo. How long would it last? Well, where was the African Union? Why couldn't the African Union bring peace to the Congo? Why couldn't ECOWAS or these other groups bring peace to the Congo? You might be right. Yes, I will not deny that that the West did play a role in the destabilization of the Congo. I listen. I would be lying to say they didn't. But at least Trump, for now, from my understanding, I could be wrong, has brought peace. It's what it is. No matter how you feel about Trump, as of right now, there is peace in the Congo. I think. Well, I haven't heard any stories of anything flaring up from right now, since, from what I understand, since the mineral. Hey, that was part of the deal. That was part of the deal. Minerals for protection. Hey, that was part of the deal. Listen, if other people cared so much about the minerals, they would have, or they wanted peace that bad, they would have brought peace to the Congo. Yeah, it might be temporary. I don't know. But anyways, got a couple of announcements. We are rolling to Zanzibar in September. We are rolling to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. Again, we are rolling to Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo.Africa. If you're interested in joining us, please visit Donfo.Africa. And we are rolling to Nigeria in about 3 weeks for the Oshun Festival. Looking forward to that. Again, we're rolling to Nigeria in about 3 weeks for the Oshun Festival. Looking forward to that. Please visit Donfo, that's DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Donfo, that is DANFO .Africa to learn more. Right. So the Congo will rather give the minerals to Donald Trump versus giving it to Kagame. Alan, you kind of make up that's a good point. That's a great point. But is it more nuanced than that? Is it that easy? Is it a little more nuanced? Was it really, hey, Kagame, you can have access to this amount of resources, just leave us alone? Is it that simple? Or maybe, as they say, the Rwanda is the middleman, and now they're cutting out the middleman and going straight to the source, the Congo, the West. Maybe that might be the case. But Alan, that's a great point. They would rather give it to Trump than to Kagame. Guys, I'll put the link in the chat room if you want to call in and add to the convo. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. But let's dive in, you guys. Let's dive in. Congo, peace in the Congo. I would really love to hear from my Congolese friends. Hopefully, I can't think of his name. Again, I can't think of his name, but he's our Congolese brother, and he calls in. And then our sister, our Rwandan sister, she calls in as well. Hopefully they call in and they and they can let us know, like, hey, this is a good deal or not. Go ahead, Alan.
Hey, man, how you doing, Dynasty?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Good, I'm hanging in there. Again, we've been talking about this ever since this all came up, that these people, rather than deal with things internally, rather than letting the African Union go ahead and mediate the thing, because they refuse to, because they'd rather be over in Burkina Faso for some reason, because they're have a battery put in their back by the West. They would rather go ahead and give the minerals away to Trump. No matter how disrespectful Trump is
to people when he has them in the White House, no matter what, where he's literally talking to them as if they're minerals sitting in front of him in seats. They would rather go ahead and give it to him rather than to have anything worked out between the nations, just allowing themselves to be recolonized. It just seems like it's the history of the Congo, which is why I just think they're so inept. They're just inept. And they constantly do this, and they will reach back and find the white man to give everything to. I think it's really that simple, unfortunately.
Well, and that's why I kept saying, like, why not just let Kagame run the Congo? When I was shouted down, yelled at, screamed at. He commits acts of genocide. I'm just like, let Kagame run it. But I mean, hey, if you want Trump, you want the peace deal with Trump, then make a deal with him, whatever.
And then they'll laugh now and then cry later. They'll cry later about how they can't get the United States out and how the United States has all this access to our stuff. We can't do anything about it. Yeah, just remember that this is what you decided to do. You decided to sign the deal with Western powers again to have them re-enter your country. You'd rather have white people and Europeans re-enter your country than to allow for a black man who knows what he's doing to run things. Makes no sense to me, but it's their country.
Exactly. Go ahead, Wildflower. Wildflower, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Dennis. Thanks, Alan. So I really feel bad for Congo. I feel like they're in a rock and a hard place. It's like a catch-22 with them. They've had to pay for their peace with using their minerals. It's almost like trying to get rid of the middleman and just going straight to the United States or Europe or whatever and saying, listen, rather than going through this other country that will remain nameless and destabilizing our people and everything that's been going on, how about we just give it to you directly? But at the end of the day, I think it's not really a good way, because I feel like these countries outside of Africa have been involved in Congo for so many years, and they've been using other nations to get the resources and then sell it to them. But I kind of see in a way that Congo is smart in a way if they're trying to get rid of the middleman and say, listen, we know you're getting our resources through this other country that is stabilizing us and everything else. What if we just give it to you? That's as far as what I understand. Obviously, I haven't really read through the details and everything, but I feel like this might have been the only way, because people are suffering in the east of Congo. They haven't had peace. It's just awful what's been going on. Even though I don't really like this deal, but if it means that there is peace for the people, security, I don't want to see children, men and women being hurt over resources, being siphoned. They're not benefiting. So if we can avoid all the harmful effects of this exploitation to the community, then it's okay. I don't know. It's a hard one. I don't know what other people think. But yeah, it's hard for me to decide which way is right, which way is wrong. In a way, I feel they probably had no other option. And I'm just tired of the people suffering on the ground. But then again, is these other destabilizers, are they fully on board? Because they might have agreed with Trump and we'll just give it to you. What if these other people who still continues to harm the regular folks on the ground? So I don't know. Just wait and see. Watch this space. It's very sad for me. I don't know. I don't know what everyone else thinks, but yeah.
So do you think they would have? So Wildflower, should they have probably made a deal with Kagame, or do you think they did the right thing by going to Trump?
Janice, you have talked about this before, and I know you got in trouble a lot on that. I think, oh my God, it's a hard one because obviously there's Rwandan people living in the Congo, being born in the Congo, and the Congo is massive. I don't know. I think you could fit all Black people in there. Is that huge? Like the whole race of us. I think Rwanda being so small, again, this is all the Berlin Conference drawing up these little lines and through people and nations. I don't know, maybe Congolese will come for me, but the country is so huge and it can't even be managed by the current people there. Do you know what I mean? So we've seen what Kagame's done with Rwanda, how it's moving forward. I feel like Rwanda is really small and Congo can't really manage such a huge land. And I think, we weren't really there when the borders were drawn, and we don't know if like parts of Rwanda were taken into Congo. And it probably, like with so many African nations, this is the case. So if we could just come together ourselves and sort of like figure something out, and it's massive and it's just been exploited. And I don't feel like the Kinshasa government has hold of all the territory. It's so huge. And I feel like, there's people of Rwanda ethnicity that live in Congo, that were born there. They don't know any other space. And I feel like, maybe as brothers, we could figure something out and really revisit some of these borders that were not drawn by us, because they set us against each other. And Congo probably does need somebody, I know my Congolese, they love a good time, music, just a soft life. And, and I feel like somebody like maybe Kagame could bring some order to parts of Congo, because it's huge. I don't know how people, maybe Congolese, will feel a certain way about it, but it's hard. It's hard, and we can't even imagine how huge Congo is. It's probably the size of Western Europe. That's huge, and it's like, is the Kinshasa government able to manage such a huge space of land? Already they can't. They have all these different rebel groups harming people. There's so many. There's probably over 100. So they really can't get hold of the situation, and maybe they need to rethink, do they need, on plus that territory that they have, this is all down to King Leopold. He just probably took different parts of African nations and said, well, this is Congo. And because we don't have like maps of our own that we had previously, that who was living where. So these borders that were drawn by outsiders, they've caused so much bloodshed in Africa. And we didn't draw them, so we weren't there. So yeah, Dennis, I do, I see your point of view when you say that, and I know it might not, people might not like it, but yeah, I do see that.
Go ahead, Jagu.
Good day, all. Happy to be here again. I didn't quite hear what you had to say, Dennis, but I heard what the young lady Wildflower was saying. And the 54 countries that make up Africa, with the borderlines being drawn by foreigners. These borderlines that have been drawn by foreigners, they haven't necessarily, they've broken people apart, but they haven't necessarily displaced people. The people who are in the territories that they're currently in have been there for eons, apart from at times when there is migration going on, or those people who are nomadic in their cultures. So when we look at the vast territory that is the Congo, the Congo doesn't have as many people or as many different people as Nigeria does, for example. Yet the Congo is probably twice the size of Nigeria. But the fact of the matter is, it's the African governments that haven't got a plan. And you can tell, it's obvious that all African governments have not thought of a plan as to how to resource and emancipate themselves from their present position. So when we have the Congo, which is the richest territory in the whole planet in terms of mineral resources, I think all these African governments are foolish in allowing the whole world to entertain themselves into Africa, plot all kinds of plotting, and be usurping the riches from all African countries, and especially the Congo. The Congo is the living Wild West, as it were, in terms of all kinds of things going on in that nation, and everybody is there. Everybody, the Chinese, the Lebanese, other Africans, Everyone's in there. Russians, all kind of gangship is going on, and whoever's baddest would get what they need out of that nation. What African nations, I believe, and looking at these subjects for some time, are supposed to do, it should start from West Africa, where West Africa wakes the hell up and becomes the big brother of the whole continent and acts first, which is to say, West Africa, including all the 14 or 15 francophone countries, are supposed to become one state with one currency, and one political agenda. Whilst it's going to be difficult and it will take a lot of negotiation, that has got to be the plan. It's got to be. Once that happens in West Africa, it will take place in East Africa. It will take place in Southern Africa, and then North Africa is North Africa. What that would mean is that we now are the protectorate of the Congo Basin, which is to say, no trade from any foreign claims go on in the Congo. We have locked it off as an African nation, as to say to ourselves, this is our treasury, this is our bank, this is our resource. And once we lock it off, the world can't do F all. The world can't do anything. But we haven't got these plans. These things don't rise up in the heads of our government, unfortunately. I'm a person, as I say, who's been looking at these things for an awfully long time. And I'm not so political in terms of my pursuits. I do more within the realms of business. But, when you're involved in certain business, you get to see what politicians are doing and how manipulation takes place. So my feeling is that, these discussions that we're having in the diaspora, they are important. They're very, very important. Because my feeling is that it's only us that can really politically lend some kind of balanced planning to the thinking that we should have in Africa, amongst our politicians. Because I don't know about you guys. Me personally, I can see quite clearly that African leaders in any African country do not have vision. They don't have vision. They don't have purpose. They're just there to have power and to oppress their citizens. In fact, most African countries aren't even citizens. They're more. How can I put it? When you I forget the word. They're more. I don't know. Not peasants is the wrong word. Serfdom is probably closer to what I want to say. They behave like an underclass. It's a terrible. In Nigeria, there's a elite, and then there's a kind of middle class, and that middle class has shrunk in the last 20 years. And then there's everybody else, and everybody else is extremely low-minded. They're low-minded, and they haven't been given the skills and the confidence as to be citizens of any nation. So, they just go around at the behest of their leaders, which is detrimental to themselves. It just makes them. Slavery hasn't finished. It hasn't ended. I could take you to parts of Africa where you can see slavery blatantly happening. Blatantly. In the Congo right now, there are children digging out all of the treasures, the gold, the cobalt, everything. And for no, they're using their energy and they're not being paid the kind of share that such a item like cobalt is doing in the world. There are things in the Congo that the level of technology that we're at right now in the world, it just would be impossible without the Congo. It would be impossible. Televisions, fridges, airplanes, telephone, all kind of tech. You won't be able to do anything without the Congo. And we don't seem to realize the level of leverage that Africa has as a nation. And this I put squarely in the blame of all of the African leaders. I'll end. Thank you.
Yeah. This is what I disagree with. This vision of one united Africa as one country I've always felt it was a pipe dream.
Okay.
We can't, as I've said here before, we can't get the English speaking Caribbean to come together. What makes you think you can get large swaths of land that can fit pretty much every other continent in the world in it to unite in that way? What needed to happen was already in place. You had an African Union. The problem is that African Union was in the pocket of the West. And so instead of going ahead and working out a deal like this and allowing for some sort of sovereignty, they went ahead and turned their attention over to Burkina Faso to go bother into that country, which was doing fine, and allowed for the United States to come in through the back door and to go and swoop all the resources. As far as leadership and leaders who know what they're doing, not all leaders in Africa are inept. One of them that's not is named Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame understands, for all his faults and the fact that he is a dictator, the fact is that he understood how to get resources, how to run a society that's functioning, and that's something the Congo has never figured out. The Congo has never figured out how to have a functioning society, never figured out how to have a functioning government. And instead of allowing somebody who knew how to do those things, you decided that they decided to go ahead and allow the West to come sweep right back in there. Please recolonize me because the scary tiny country to our north is bothering us.
Can I have a quick conversation with you on this?
Yeah.
I hear you fully as to where you're coming from. The only thing is, you see, the whole idea of unity across Africa and indeed across the African world, the black world, the whole idea is that we are not seeing what's happening above us. What's happening above us is that there is unity. There is unity within the European races. There is unity within the European world. The European world, I'll put it as New Zealand, Australia, Europe, America, and Canada. That's the European world. Some parts of South America, if you like. Yeah. Now they have a hegemony over the whole world. So for Africans to think that they can defeat, the hegemony of Europe without coming together, I think that's more fallacy. That is more fallacy.
Okay. But I'm not saying they can't come together. I'm saying that you can't go ahead and expect for those places to all become one country and be United States of Africa. That's a pipe dream.
What I've said to you, sir, is that West Africa probably stands the greatest chance or has the greatest potential to become one nation based on currency and economy. If we do that, I am telling you for free that would be like a inspiration for the rest of Africa to do that. East Africa would follow very swiftly. If that happened in West Africa, they'll follow very swiftly. And then it's for us to have discussions with Southern Africa and how to make peace in Southern Africa and make sure that they are strong beneath us. Now, I'm saying that the Congo, to save the Congo and to save the thievery that's going on and the apathy of the nation and the level of oppression that is happening in the Congo is, the rest of Africa is rich enough to back the Congo, so nothing comes out of that ground. For now, we will back and make sure that the Congolese, for once in the last 200-300 years, would live in some kind of peace. They have been traumatized in such a way since the days of Leopold. Traumatized. I mean, you can't even expect these people to have one nation. And as has been said by Wildflower, it's a massive, massive piece of territory, massive land with different people.
But again, you're kind of making my point. If you can't expect,
I think there's an agreement. There's agreement between us. There's agreement between us. I'm just saying, what is the real plan? I'm arguing about. There is no plan. in position.
And my point is that there is a plan in place. We don't follow it. The purpose of the African Union was to go ahead and unify African states as separate individual states, similar to the European Union, and for conflicts like this to be resolved within the African Union. That's not happening because the African Union is proven not to be a standalone institution. What they've done is they've gone ahead and allowed themselves to be the puppet for the West. And so what you're talking about in terms of unity of states, where you had the Sahel coming together. The African Unions actively and Nigeria and other places are working actively against that.
I concur.
And so that is the problem. If the Sahel, those three states can't come together without our own working against it, what do you think the chances are that we're going to get all of West Africa to do that?
No, you're
that's
right.
my point.
The thing is this: what needs to happen, my brother. And this is why I speak about the West. Africans in the West, Africans in the diaspora, need to come with their own think tank, their own forum that negotiates with African governments. Because the fact of the matter is, what's happening in the AES countries, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, they are clearly showing the way forward. In my estimation, they're clearly showing what leadership in Africa means. They're clearly showing that there needs to be a separation between us and the West, and we need to use different means in order to bring ourselves out of the doldrums that we are in. How can a country like Niger be one of the three most poor countries in the world, which it is? It's just a poor country based on the horror of finance and business skills that are going on, where you're buying products that are worth $200 for less than 80 cents. Of course, that's going to make you poor. Of course it is. So until that separation has taken place, we saw a great rise in the economic power of Niger. There was a big difference almost immediately as soon as they left and they started selling their products at the price that is valued at on world market. We saw a shift in the GDP of the country. Now, when we see this, especially us in the West, this is why I really dislike, and I kind of have to salute Danis for bringing this table together, whereby Caribbean, Black American, Black European can communicate, because we need to, because the exposure that we have, unfortunately, it's ghettoized us in many ways. But the exposure that we have out in the West, for those who are enlightened, we really do need to bring our thoughts together in order to impact what's going on in Africa. We need to. And I don't think many of us are on that level or on that thought process, or even feel that they have the power to make any difference in the African climate. And these are things that I will prefer that our discussions are based on, because then once we've kind of got a global understanding of our Blackness, of our Africanness, of our otherness, once we've got that as part of our renewed system, because they had it back in the 60s, they probably had it back in
Jagu, I gotta pass the mic in 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying, there's six of us here now. I'm just saying that our discussions really, for us, our discussions to be fruitful, we have to bring our minds together and have an appreciation of our varied differences, but our power if we unify. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, Willie. Unmute yourself, Willie.
Oh yeah, I'm just taking the conversation in. I mean, I don't see much of a difference from aligning yourself with a Russia or a China than allying yourself with the West. Like, it still doesn't present that self-autonomy to do it yourself and get things accomplished, which will lead to ownership. I'm still not seeing that, but I'm listening.
I can tell you the difference.
Okay. I'm a new voice.
Okay,
So
ahead.
I love this conversation, and I agree with you, Jagun. Greetings, Dynas. That fruitful conversations is really good, and miss me with all the joking and capping and casing. But someone said something. Oh, I'm thinking think tank. So having a think tank coming from the diaspora is good, and it reminds me of when I was a young guy, how this brother said to me on campus. I was going to junior college. He said, "What's happening, African?" And I didn't really know what I heard him, but I just kept walking. I was like, I know he's not talking to me. This is he saw me again, another day or two, and said the same thing. And I said, "Well, why you call me African?" So then we got into conversation that led to me going to the work study group of the All African People's Revolutionary Party. And so we read books. That's all we did as coming into this circle, reading circle. Um, the people that have been in it, what they would do, they would have these meetings that would be regional United States meetings. They had chapters on all the different, a lot of different campuses in the United States, and they had these big meetings where they would go and discuss these things related to how Africa should develop. It was basically a think tank, and it was not only just a think tank, but it was also they were doing things, and we, the ones of us who were reading and just having discussions about what we were reading, stuff like Walter Rodney and Fanon and what else? A lot of other types of books that were dealing with political stuff, but as well there was some cultural, there's some historic stuff too. So we would discuss that, but they were a think tank back in when I first knew about it was the early 80s, right? So the early 80s, they were doing that. And I saw the brother that brought me in, he's teaching in Tanzania now. He's a professor in Tanzania. So those kinds of things have been going on. And I think that that's a good place that a lot of us need education. We need to read these different books. And I would include more historic stuff too by people like Sheikh Anta Diop and Dr. Ben. And so we have that part too. And as well, what was missing, and I'll land with this, what was missing for me and why I gravitated out of it was the spiritual part of it. The spiritual part has to be, to me, has to be incorporated, and it has to be African spirituality, because that is the foundation of one of our greatest civilizations was, and long-lasting civilizations, and most productive and fruitful was Kemet. And they had a very strong spiritual base. And I think that we need to use that model as we move forward. I'll land right there.
Who next?
Guys, hit the like button and please hit that like
Who's
button.
next?
I'll put that link in the chat
I
room.
want. I wanted to add one thing really quickly. One of the previous people said that they don't see the difference between allowing Russia or specifically China in as opposed to the West. We've seen the pattern of the West over a 500-year period where they use colonialism to take and drain resources and leave nothing of any value behind. At least with the Chinese, you would at least get the infrastructure put in place that would be necessary for commerce and things like that could aid in the movement, and they seem willing to do that. I'm not saying that's ideal. I'm saying that is a key difference.
Who's next?
Go ahead, Wildflower.
Yeah, I think the gentlemen have all raised a lot of interesting points and good points. But I definitely feel like Congo has been sort of like the stepchild for Africa for a long time, where all these things have been going on for maybe 20 years, since the early 90s. That really bad things have been happening in the Congo, and everybody just kind of didn't really talk about it. Like, what was West Africa trying to do? They weren't doing anything about Congo. It was just kind of left there to get exploited. So maybe the Congolese people have a right not to really trust other Africans, because since the 90s, where was Nigeria and all these other countries kind of stepping in and saying, this is not right. Our people are being hurt so that resources can get nicked and stolen and taken to Western countries. And nobody really cared. So the Congolese people have learned to internalize that they felt always alone. We didn't come up with any solutions in the 90s or the early noughties. And, people were getting unalived in hundreds of thousands. It's only now that it's kind of blown up. Obviously, social media has become really big, but they've been forgotten for a long time. And I feel like, we are all sort of like, our silence led to more violence for these people. And in a way, as other Africans and as Black people in the diaspora, we have a responsibility to stand up for the people of Congo, because we haven't for the longest time. They've been on their own. And, it's almost like, and it's the heartbeat of Africa. And we kind of just like, oh, well, it is what it is. And then you see them on TV, they're dressed nicely and,
Can I ask you a
they're
question?
partying and they love the music. And we kind of forget the suffering that's going on, which is, yeah.
What responsibility would Black Americans have
I'm listening.
to the Congo? Because you made that point, I was just curious on that.
I got a response.
As Black people that live in the most military, the most like powerful in terms of military, like in the world, and as Black people that are in America, and America has directly been involved in Congo since the 90s, I think Black Americans are in a good position to speak to members of Congress or Senates and say, this is going on, we are worried, we are concerned, and just to even bring attention to it. Because Black Americans, they do have a voice and people do listen to it globally. So if they were to say, this is only now they've started anyway, but if they could use their voice and, nobody's asking them to go there and fight, but just to bring attention to this, not just Black Americans, I think Black people all over the world.
With the potential of what we could do. But you made the statement that, Black people across the world are kind of, obligated to care about that conflict. And I just wanted to see how you could make that connection for me across the pond that doesn't.
Yeah, we are our brothers' keepers. And if the problem in the Congo continues, it affects Africa, the whole of the continent in general. It affects our ability to progress as a race. So we are all, even though we feel like we're powerless, but together we have a bigger voice. Like, when the life of Ibrahim Traore was kind of in danger, it was Black people in the diaspora using the internet, obviously Africans that are abroad and at home, using the internet to really bring it to the global attention. Like, we don't want Ibrahim Traore sort of harmed in any way. It was Black people in the diaspora and on the continent as well, really using their voice. Now we have access to the media. There is no reason why we shouldn't utilize these sources that we have in our hands to actually make a difference. And it really was a very good example.
I'm saying,
What I think, if I can quickly butt in, brother. You see, I don't believe
capability to get involved, but my question was, why should we? Like when you made the point that if this region is allowed to be destabilized, it could affect a large portion of Africa. That makes sense to me. That's a reason for those people to get involved. Nothing that happens in the Congo is going to affect me in America, is what I'm saying. So
excuse me, sir. You know how much coltan and cobalt come from the
I
Congo?
think
The world's
it does.
coltan and cobalt.
hold on.
I think
So now
it
if you're
does.
making that argument,
What
then
happened? Sorry,
anything that I
I'll
do
just finish
to
off my
slow
point to
down
Willie.
Western
Sure.
power
I'll finish
would
my.
be what
I'll
affects
respond
me.
to Willie's
You get what I'm saying, bro?
comment. I will respond to you. I'll respond to Willie. I definitely like what happens in the Congo. What happens in the Congo affects everyone around the world in terms of the ability for these multinational companies to access resources that we need for our Western economies to function. So what is definitely happening in the Congo directly affects all of us, but it directly affects negatively the people in the Congo. So we
How
can't just
about
like we're having mobile. I have an iPhone 16, and obviously that's Congo in my hand. You probably have an iPhone and you're holding Congo in your hand. So whatever is happening in the Congo affects all of us. You're getting on the plane. America's ability to militarize the defense system, get all the minerals they need for that. That's all coming from the Congo.
So the
For even
reality is
America to
it
defend
benefits
itself
me
against
what the
enemies,
West
they
is
need
doing there.
Congolese resources. They needed Congolese resources to build a nuclear bomb they dropped on Japan.
So
So
why
you
would I
can't just
stop
say
them?
what's happening in the Congo.
no?
Why would I
What,
stop them if everything they're doing benefits me? Like you talked about having the iPhone in my hand. You talked about being able to jump on an Airbus flight, and
mm.
these
Your
materials
phone is
come from
echoing,
there.
sorry.
What I'm saying is, if I'm benefiting from these things, why would I destabilize it? Why would I push it
Okay.
anywhere?
Let me
You
try
know?
and come back. Let me try and come back in a way that
So
you wait,
okay,
please,
someone else
Wildflower.
respond to that. Okay,
Yeah. Um, what it is, you see, even in Africa, Wildflower mentioned what's Nigeria doing? You know, Nigeria's done a lot in the Congo, a lot. You know, since the days of um, um, Patrice Lumumba, Nigerians were there, keeping the peace, and possibly not playing the right game, probably playing a more of a Western game, but they've been there. Um, there's a lot of um, um, African countries like Zambia who are next door. Zambia and the Congo have a lot of the same produce. This is the copper belt. That's where all the copper is between these two countries. So there's always been some kind, but all these countries are too weak. One and two.
your line sounds a bit crackly. I don't know if anyone else is hearing that.
No,
Your line is
that's
really
Alan.
crackling a lot. I
Hold
don't know
on.
if anyone else
I
is
can't.
noticing that.
I'm
Hold
not
on.
hearing it.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's your
it's,
Lumumba phone. It's
no.
probably
That's
about to
Uh,
die.
that's Alan. I muted Alan. Go ahead.
Thank you. You see, as I said, the African countries are too weak. Africa is weak. I keep saying it to certain people, and they'll argue and say, "No, man, Africa's strong." Africa's not strong, man. It's not. It can be strong. It has the potential to be strong, but as we are right now, it is not strong. If West Africa became AES, it would be strong because there are enough mineral resources there. There are enough people there, and there is a way of building up your military armaments to defend yourself.
But you'd have to topple Ivory Coast to accomplish that, right?
Well, don't worry about Ivory Coast. It's just one country. Because all of these leaders, they can be manipulated and used. Tinubu in Nigeria right now, he's being manipulated and used by France more than any other place. And I prefer that he wasn't there, but he is there, and we have to deal with it in Nigeria. All these, just like the African American brother said, why would what's going on in Congo affect me, and why should I get involved? And I think that's a valid question. It's a valid question in the fact that, you see, everybody has their own problems in their own vicinities. This has to be taken seriously. What's going to motivate someone in the Caribbean, someone in
But
South
a lot of
America,
our
someone?
problems are interlinked. The
Wait,
problems are
please don't
all
do that.
interlinked.
Wait,
This kind of isolationist thinking is the reason why we have problems.
madam, please don't do
You
that.
can't just say my little
No,
individualistic problems
I know that. I'm
override
aware, but
other
just
people's
listen.
problems. We're all connected.
Yeah.
We are
So
all
hold
connected.
on. Jagu, 30 seconds. I pass it to Cuddy.
No. What you're supposed to say, Dennis, is that she shouldn't interrupt me. That's what you're supposed to say. Not that I've got 30 seconds.
Okay. She shouldn't interrupt you. 30 seconds. I got to pass it.
Thank you. Now listen, I'm not Wildflower. You need to be patient. What I'm trying to put to us is that when people speak, we need to hear them, whether we like it or not. If people are coming from a selfish point of view, then you have to understand that human beings are selfish. Human beings are selfish. Now, what are you going to give to motivate them out of their selfishness is the question. You can't just expect everybody to be at your pace or on your line, because that's not reality. In this world, if we don't negotiate what it is, the way forward, we're not getting anywhere. We have to.
Let me pass it to Cuddy. Go ahead, Cuddy.
Big salute, Dinus. Thank you, Dinus. You know, I know a lot of people got a lot to say and they long-winded, but I just want to, you know, make a statement and dip off. Big salute to the panel. Big salute to the chat. Man, the only way for people to fix the situation is people gonna have to sacrifice a lot of their comforts. You know, I hear a lot of people from Africa that's in other countries that got a whole lot to say. The only way that you can fix the situation is to come to Africa and get some dirt on your boots. The only way for us to fix our situation in America is to get dirt on our boots. We're gonna have to crash the system and rebuild our own system, because we all, no matter if you from America or all the way to the UK and even to Africa, we've all come up under a colonized system. Everything we know comes from them.
Mm.
The only ones that got the knowledge and the information is the old school griots out in the village that they couldn't get to in Africa. So if you want to know some real knowledge, some things that'll blow your mind, you need to talk to the elders when you come to Africa. You know, they have the knowledge that you seek, not the educated man that got 4 years of a degree. They really useful idiots. It's the people that's been passed down and that's then went through initiations and rituals, which I just learned this the other day. You got to go through initiations and rituals to get this knowledge. So if you're not talking to the griots and the elders out there in the village, man, you really don't know nothing. But the only way, we got to crash the system and build our own, because all of us have come up under the white supremacy system. No matter what knowledge you think you got, you really dumb as a box of rocks. Just like me, I just learned this not too long ago, talking to elders, griots. You know, one thing the elder told me, chief of the village told me, he said it pains them to see that all of the youth want to go to the West, want to go to America, Europe, to get they learn on, when all the knowledge that they seek is right there with them. They just don't want to be patient and get it. They'd rather go be slaves to their enemies, they open enemies. So I wanted to make that statement. And man, Trump ain't saving nothing. If anything, he adding fire to the fuel, you know. So yeah, coming from America, yeah, we are benefiting still. Even though our backs ain't under chains and slavery, we still benefiting off death and destruction of another country. Yes, we are. Our comforts, our cell phones, our Microsoft, our Apples, all that. Yeah, we benefiting, you know. And to answer Wall Street Will question, the difference between China and Russia, China not trying to get into politics. Russia not trying to get into politics. It's against what they got going on. They just want to do good business. See, them nosy Kens and Karens, they like to be all in people's business. Yeah, they want you to turn your music down. They don't want you fishing over here. They don't want you living in this neighborhood. So yeah, the Kens and the Karens from the Europe and America, yeah, they want to be in politics. They want to be all in business. They don't want to be handling economic business. They want to be in your personal business. What you got going on with your country? Who the chief in this village? Who the king of this area? How many Black Americans you letting in? Oh, we need to keep the Black Americans out of here, because then they're going to learn about Firestone and Bridgestone. They're going to learn that we've been over here for 100. America been over here for 100, 200 years, stealing resources. Then, Black Americans might learn wouldn't be no car industry, wouldn't be no Ford, wouldn't be no NASCAR if it wasn't for a country like Liberia that they've been stealing from since our peoples were slaves. They don't want you to learn this information. So, yeah, the only way we stop the pain and suffering of others in the world, man, is crash the system. And I'm going to land with that, y'all.
You want to respond to Willie? If
well, let me pass it. Go ahead, Vovo.
Let me say this, right? This is one of the reasons why I voted for Trump. You know, I don't know if this is something new, but I thought I seen this story a couple weeks ago. I don't know if you're just touching on it now, but you know, this is one of the reasons why I voted for Trump. Whether you like it or not, America runs the world. Whether you like it or not, yeah, we can go through all this rigmarole and all this back and forth and all that. America runs the world, runs planet Earth, period. Whether you like it or not, Trump is the leader of the world.
Trump got the ability to tell people to stop or to tell people to go. America can land their planes and they can drop bombs and they can take from any country they want, anywhere in the world. That America is the world leader, whether we like it or not. We can go back and forth, but that's not going to change anything. Trump is the best leader that we can have right now. He's the best man for the job currently. He's a businessman. I'm a businessman. I like to do business with other like-minded businessmen, not somebody that's emotional, not somebody that got other hang-ups. Let's do the business. Let's put our hang-ups to the side and let's do business. Trump always talk about making a deal. They need to make a deal. They should have made the deal. He say this all the time. That's what a businessman wants. Let's make a deal. Let's have some type of compromise. He's got a history of doing business. He come from a business family. Fred Trump, his father, is a businessman. He went to business school. He got business degrees. He's been doing nothing but business. Business is deals. He's able to broker deals. That's all he do. That's the kind of guy you want to negotiate with. Is a businessman, a guy that can do. His book is called Art of the Deal. I don't know if y'all ever read it. I read it twice. It's a great book. Actually, you know, like we need to get past the all of our hangups and let's do the best business. Right now, I seen Trump broker the deal between the Congo and some other country. It was some deal he brokered where they was calling the girl beautiful and everything. It was a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if this what that's about, but you know, that's the guy you want. He's got an open door policy. I keep saying this. He let anybody in the Oval Office and sit and he turned on the cameras and said, "Let's talk it out right here in front of the cameras." Right or wrong. Ain't that the type of? What more do you want? You want some magic to fall out of the sky? That don't work. This is the best guy you can have. Somebody, if your boss got an open door policy, you want to work for a guy like that his door always open and you can come and voice your grievance and work out a deal. What do you want? So you know this is why I voted for Trump. He's the best guy for the job. He's the best leader for planet Earth that we got right now. Period. He's the best leader. He's the one that people are going to listen to. They respect him all over the planet. He's a strong business. That's nothing, bro. He can't go nowhere with that. He can't go in. He can go everywhere. He's respected. People take him serious. He's tough. He's a tough negotiator. He's a winner. What more would you want out of a leader? So you know, I appreciate you letting me speak.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Sal. But let me,
So I wanted to respond to Willie. So here's the thing. Well, just as a quick little, Vovo did bring up some thoughts about the what appears to be somebody's mic is music on it. What appears to be happening by all indices and commentary that's going on is that there is a changing of the guards that the Western world, that would United States leading the Western world is going down. It looks as if it's starting to lose its ground, and BRICS is one of the signs of that as well. There are other signs of that. You know, the United States cannot go into China and take what they want. They cannot go into Russia and take what they want, because those countries have nuclear and they have a military beyond just nuclear. So that's not happening. And it is BRICS does challenge the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar credit has gone down rated. And what's happening is they see the writing on the wall, and there's a bit of desperation that is happening. And I think Trump represents that in terms of him being in office at this time. Now, here's what I have to say to Willie is that
Hey, bro, I got a question. I got a question for you. Tell them what happened to Langley.
so Langley was fired, or taken out of that position. I won't say fired. He was removed from that position after his name became very public with a statement that he made, which was not unusual. The statement that he made at a hearing, at a foreign committee hearing, about Ibrahim Traore being, the country taking the natural resources for his protection, as if he's protecting himself with the nation's resources. It wasn't unusual, but the fact that we have social media and people are very sensitive about what's going on in the AES because we want to win. So here's what I have to say to Brother Willie is that suppose Africa, and it is happening, and it looks like it's, and we want it to happen. We are pushing it to happen in our positive thinking as well, that Africa is liberating itself. What's going to happen in the Western world is they're not going to go easily. They're not going without a fight. And so if it does happen, and if and or when it does happen, that United States does start to deal with not a soft approach, but a hard approach would be militaristic, and they start drafting young black men and women and other folks to fight, potentially fight in Africa. And you say, and this is the reason that they're going to do that is because it is in their interest to keep the relationship as it is now, where they can go and take shit for cheap or nothing in Africa, right? That's what their interests are. That's why they're in Africa. That's why Africa Command is in there. And so you say that it doesn't affect you. So if it's against your interest to interfere with you being able to have an iPhone, then it will be also in your interest to fight against Africa to maintain your iPhone and your living as an American. So then you become an enemy to me, and probably most of the people in this room, maybe not Vovo Rants, and I'm kind of making that assumption, that you will become our enemy. And so, how do you feel about that?
Can I just add this? They do go into China and they told China you can't touch Taiwan. China ain't touching Taiwan. Just a month ago, China was about to crash out the whole economy, spilling all the secrets because they got sanctioned. And then they had to come back and kiss the ring. They had literally had to come back to kiss the ring. A couple of days ago, Trump said, if Putin don't make a deal, I'm gonna give you 100% sanctions. They go where they want and they do what they want to do. I mean, this fantasy thing, like, what do you mean? Everybody bends the knee to America.
Did you hear what the head man at Ford said
And
today?
there's a proxy
He
war
said
right
China
now.
is superior to America.
It ain't about what they said, bro. That's just not true.
Ford. They just went and bought some cars from China.
Your phone breaking up.
So wait a minute. I posed that question to Willie. So Will, can you respond to that?
He answered.
No, he didn't.
Well, in a strange way, but he answered. He said that
What
you
is-
got to kiss the ring. He said that you got to kiss the ring. America's in charge,
That's
basically.
Vovo Rant said
That
that,
was
That
what
wasn't
Volvo
Yeah.
said. We
but
need
not
to
Will.
respond.
But here's the thing.
Not Will. And
here's
that Will, you don't want to answer that?
Oh, I see.
There's
Can I
already
speak?
troops on the ground in Africa. East Africa, there's a proxy war right now in East Africa about
I
2
guess he
months
doesn't
ago.
want to answer that because Vovo, that wasn't for you. That was for him, for
They
No,
Will.
I
just
said I
dropped
would
bombs.
answer.
But you had addressed me in your spiel. You had addressed what I said. So I'm just
No,
remembering.
you answered that though. You said that they kissed the
I know
ring
you
and blah blah
trying to
blah.
that
Right.
don't work, trying to
But
get
that was
votes.
I didn't ask you a question though. But you
Trying to
you
act like
wanted
you're
to
not talking to
respond.
me, but you
So
want to respond.
can we let Will respond to the question that I asked though, Vovo?
There's a proxy. There's troops on the ground right now in East Africa. They just bombed the fuck out of them. I forgot which country that was. They just bombed the fuck out of them. America just dropped
You
bombs in
think
East Africa.
Somalia? Which country? Please be more specific, because
I
I'm from
think it
East
is
Africa.
Somalia. I think it is Somalia.
Well, America's been bombing Somalia since the 90s. Nothing new. We're talking about China, which is a superpower, and Russia. So
They
you're
told China don't
comparing the
touch
apples
Taiwan.
and lemons.
They said you can't do nothing in Taiwan, China. If you do anything in Taiwan,
Well,
on your land,
China,
Taiwan.
America owes China a lot of debt. If China wakes up tomorrow and asks for their money back, you guys don't have
They're
it.
not. They
So
already did it.
So
They already did it, and nothing
the
happened.
United States is in debt to China.
Do y'all
And if
remember
China wakes up
how short is
tomorrow
your
and they
memory?
say, "Can you give me my money by 2:00?" You guys ain't got it.
Just about 3 months ago, China was talking about how they making the Birkin bags and it's all made in the same factory, and it was Chinese factory company owners spilling all the beans because they was getting sanctioned. And they had to come back and kiss the ring.
Nah, you missed the whole alley-oop, bro. They did
what
that so you could come create your own product, dummy.
What you mean? Why would I create my own product when they making it? I'm not about. Ain't nobody about to be in no sweatshop. That's what they for?
That means your
That's what they
economy,
for. Ah,
your
What's all that high voice singing that you're doing, Vovo? Don't be
America's
so high voiced.
economy, America,
I
listen,
thought you
that's
was a
just my
boss,
point.
can I
bro.
That's just
just
my point.
speak? Can
You
I
don't
speak
think like
quickly?
one.
Just quickly. America's economy is very tied to China. Every product that's used in the United States comes from China. So you won't get toys, you won't get things that you need. So if you want to crush China's economy, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. That means the things
China,
that come in the containers, they will be empty. What are you going to do then? Because what
China.
America is trying to do is to decouple from China,
What are
which
they
is
going to do?
We're gonna
impossible
make
when
our own
they've
stuff.
tied up their own economy to them. And another thing,
What are they
America
going to do?
owes China loads of money. Do you understand? And if
What
the
they
Chinese wake up tomorrow and they ask USA for their money, you guys don't have it. Do you know how
they
that
already
feels?
asked for it. We
So
do have.
that's
They
actually not
haven't asked
accurate
for
though,
it.
because
One
China
day they will
owns
ask for it, and you're gonna respond with violence
America
because
owns
that's
a
how
lot of
America
the
behaves.
debt of China as well. So it's a
Nah,
mutual thing. Don't
it's the
think
other
it's a
way around.
one-way street.
It's the
Who's in
other
the
way
power
around.
position? If I owe you money, right, and you
So
work
it's
for me,
called
who's in the power
SOFR,
position? Your
right?
boss or you?
SOFR is the standard
China got us
overnight
beat, dog.
funding rate, right?
I'm telling you.
These
Chinese
countries lending.
Seeing it.
economy
Hold
does
on, slow
not
down, slow
rely
down,
Beat
slow
you,
on
down,
the
slow
dog.
down, slow
USA
down,
because
wildfire,
they
slow
are
down. I was
making
speaking.
deals
I was
with
speaking
Southeast Asia.
wildfire.
So they're
I was
actually replacing
speaking
the need for
wildfire.
American
I
consumers.
was speaking.
China does not really need
I was
American consumers
speaking
anymore
wildfire.
because they are using, they are getting
Yeah, that's
Southeast
great, but I
Asians,
was
they're getting
speaking.
Africans, they're getting Europeans to be their next
That's great,
consumers.
but I was
So the moment
speaking.
you're no longer their main customer, it's gone.
That's
That's it.
great, but I was speaking. And I actually know what I'm talking about. So what I brought up was SOFR rate. SOFR is the standard overnight funding rate, right? You have to understand these countries lend each other money back and forth, right? So it's not like China is just lending us money or buying our debt. We buy their debt as well. So this whole farce that China owns America, that comes from a place of not understanding how treasuries of different nations work. So I did just
America's
want to
in debt
add
by
that.
36
It's not a
trillion. Where's that
one-way
money going to
street.
come from? 36
And how much
trillion.
is
And the
China
debt
in debt?
ceiling's been raised. China's
And how
not in
much is
debt,
China?
Money.
not to the level
The money's
America
not
is
the
in
Right.
debt.
issue. It's
You
the
see, hold
technology.
on. That's retarded. That's someone that's ignorant to world finance. You're not going to find a nation that doesn't have some debt.
China owns a lot of US debts, and all they
And
need
we
to do
own a
is to
lot of
ask,
theirs as well.
they need to come and ask for their
And we own
money,
a
and
lot
the
of theirs
USA
as well.
won't. So what Volvo is saying, that America goes
No, I'm
around
saying
asking
what you're
everybody how
saying
to
is
jump, how
fundamentally
high.
wrong.
That is not true. That is
You're trying
propaganda that
to
he's
say it
being
like it's a
fed.
one-way street.
He's being fed propaganda. The only
It's
problem
called the standard overnight
American
funding rate.
consumers, but they're
Why don't
already
I'm
sorting
gonna
out because
Google
they're
how
Somebody,
proud.
much
hold
I'm
on,
gonna
The
slow
Google
only
how
down.
much
reason
debt
Hold
men
on,
United
and
slow
States
women in
down.
has
America
Because
and how
is
much
everybody
China
kind of
has.
ran
I'm
the
gonna
light
Google that
on me
right
when I
now.
was
they're
asked
in
the
Southeast
question,
Asia to
right?
be the next
Wildfire
consumers.
can never control herself. So I'm going to speak to the rest of the fellas for a second, right? It's called, I'm sorry, not standard, the secured overnight funding rate, SOFR. Someone look that up, right? It's
All
4
China
point.
needs to do is to stop using the
Can I
US dollar,
finish
and they're already
speaking?
doing that.
Can I finish
They're
speaking? Can I
de-dollarizing.
finish
That means no
speaking?
more
Because
dollar.
everything you're saying is
We're using.
factually wrong.
It's true. It's true. You're
Everything
the
you're
one that don't
saying
follow.
is wrong.
You're in
Hey,
America,
That's
so
why I'm
you don't watch
presenting
Hey y'all,
international
facts.
news.
hey y'all, check this out. Check this out. It's not
Hold
about
on,
the
hold on,
money.
Cuddy.
Hey,
That's
bro,
why I'm
diligence
Let
presenting
gotta
Cuddy
facts,
speak.
though. Hold on. That's why I'm presenting facts.
Let Cuddy
When I
speak.
give you,
You're
shut up.
no.
When I
Let
give
Cuddy
you
speak because you've
something,
been
when I
talking.
give you something like the secured overnight funding rate,
Let Cuddy speak.
I want the panel to hold me to my
technology, bro.
words, right? Of being factual and not just chatting a bunch of shit like she's doing. You like that chatting shit, right? That's all you're doing. You're just talking, but I can tell you a portion of what China lent to America today and what we also lent them as well. It's not the one-way
US
street
owes
you're trying to
China
make it
roughly
from
76
London. You
billion
don't know
US
what you're
dollars, while
talking
China
about.
owes
That's all I
US
wanted to make
immense
clear.
debt.
You don't know
Cuddy,
what
you
you're
can
talking
speak
about.
China is a
now.
holder of
Let me say this.
US
Shout out to China. China
volume
work for America. Let's
US
be clear.
national
They
debt.
make all our bullshit that we don't want to
And
make.
you don't know what you're talking about either.
Who, me?
God damn.
Who, me? They work for America. They work for us. They make all the shit that we don't want to make. So let me ask you this. Who's in a more power position, you or your boss? You need your check on Friday.
Boy, shut up and get your Jordan game up.
You need your check.
Jordan game up. I ain't never even wore these. They don't even got no dirt on.
Anyone who thinks that
I'm
America
way
is
in
China's
Africa.
boss is a fool.
Yeah,
Get your
I know.
game up.
Anyone who believes that is a fool.
Yeah, but who in a more power position? You need your check on Friday.
No. All China
The
needs
job
to do
don't gotta pay
is
you
stop
Friday.
sending.
They don't
The
gotta
China
pay you
needs to
Friday.
do is stop. Is
China
dump
works
U.S.
for us.
Treasury. All
Let's be
China
clear, they
needs to
work for us.
do is to dump
And so
U.S.
now
Treasury,
we
and that's
have
the end of it.
a
Which
truck
one they can,
driver
I really hope
and
they
a
do that. I
woman
really hope
from the
they do
UK
that.
that can't control
I
herself
really hope they
discussing
do
finance.
that. I
Right.
really hope they do
discussing
that.
finance.
But again,
I really hope they do,
I
and they're
challenge
going to do it.
anyone in
By
the
the way, this
chat
is why we
to
have
look
BRIC
up
currency coming up,
SOFR rate.
and
SOFR.
you guys,
So you got to
you
stop
guys are
letting
going to be
people tell
Struggle
you
Street.
bullshit without having.
Really, stop being emotional now.
You got to
Let
stop
other
letting
people.
people tell you bullshit
No,
without
it's not
having
bullshit.
anything to
It's
back it
because
up.
it doesn't fit in line
What
with
I
your
said
propaganda.
was,
That's all.
not only does
Well, you
China
Let
own
it speak.
U.S. debt, America owns a lot of Chinese debt as well. It's not a one-way street. That's why I presented you with SOFR, that anyone can look up to see. I'm not just fucking running my mouth like some people on the panel. So everybody got to relax and let the people who know what they're talking about talk. Yo, Volvo, I promise you, if it came to moving a load over 400 miles, I'm not going to have nothing to say because you know more about that than me. I know more about finance between
Willie doesn't
treasuries
care
than you.
that the resources that
It's
are in
literally
Congo are
my
supporting
career.
his economy.
It's
And if he
literally
does
my
that,
career.
that
The
means
whole world
Willie doesn't care
is on
about
the
black
Swift system.
people
Would you
because
agree
he's
with
more
that?
America
The whole
first.
world
It's
is on the
not
Swift
true.
system, Willie. Would you agree with that?
Willie said that what America does in the
Where you
Congo
at,
to
Willie?
keep
The whole
the
world is on the
lights
Swift
on,
system.
it doesn't
The
bother
whole
him
I'm not
because
going to
he's
talk over
America
her. She
first,
can't
right?
control herself. I'm not going to
the,
talk over
the
her.
whole world is on the Swift system, right?
What does that mean?
No, Russia is not on a SWIFT system.
That's
Russia
the
was kicked
monetary
off
system.
and
Yes,
it's
they
still
is. That's why you
functioning.
can. That's why
Russia
America.
was
It's not
kicked
a
off and it's
monetary
already
SWIFT
system. It's a
isn't even,
system
you don't
used
know
for
what you're
China is
talking
transferring
about.
money.
also moving off
Right.
SWIFT.
That's
You don't
why.
know what you're
That's why
talking about.
America can. That's why America can
You don't
sanction
know what you're
everybody.
talking about, Volvo.
No,
That's
Drive
why
the truck.
America can sanction everybody.
Drive
well,
the truck.
Russia's
Let
not on
me talk
SWIFT and
about
they're doing
Swift.
very well at the moment.
You
That's why.
drive the truck.
China's
Let
coming
me
off it
talk
as
about
well.
Swift.
That you
And
try to
then let Wildfire talk over us all.
that ain't
Because she knows
you
more
try
than
to trust it
everyone,
ain't nothing.
but she can present no facts.
Where's Donis, man? Donis got to control the show, man.
Listen, that's
Right.
why
Daddy,
America.
can you
Why do you
speak?
think America can sanction everybody?
Well,
Because
because they
everything
use
is
the
measured
dollar
up
because they
against the
have
dollar.
dollar as the
If you
reserve
want to, if you
currency.
want to buy some fuel,
Without
it's the
dollar as the
petrodollar.
reserve currency,
It's
they don't have the power to sanction
all debts
nobody.
are settled in U.S.
Bobo, you
dollars.
don't understand.
All
The only
debts are
reason
settled in
America
U.S.
can
dollars.
sanction is because they have the dollar as the reserve currency of the world. We're
Yes,
now
thank you,
replacing
They
that
have
What is
with
our brother
dollar
Cuddy
on
showing us,
paper,
man?
and you won't be able to sanction
Some
nobody. There
good,
you
some
go.
goodwill
Let's
sneakers. What's that?
do this first,
Elvis,
right?
shut up,
Let's
boy.
show
This is
where
the chat.
Volvo was
Nobody
goofy
wears those.
first.
Nobody
Let's
wears
show where
Jordan
Volvo was
stuff.
goofy first, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
and Vovo.
nobody
Swift
wears those
I
Jordan.
Swift
think, I
is
think, I think
Swift
Volvo
is
got
a
better Jordans than
global.
you,
Hold
Cuddy.
on.
Jordan.
Hold on. Let's show Volvo where he
I
was
got
goofy
better
first.
choice than you, Elvis.
Swift is a
Yeah, I
global.
don't wear Jordans, brother. I'm a
Swift
grown
is a
Never
man.
use Swift.
global. All right, y'all want to talk about
I got
Jordans
90 pair of shoes. I don't even play
and
with
not the
it.
conversation.
Anyway,
All
listen,
right.
listen.
And this is what y'all want to
Yes,
do.
all
Y'all want to
debts,
let a bunch of niggas that
bro.
deal with.
You talking, you Wall Street Willie, she ain't nothing. All debts are settled in U.S. dollars on the
That's
planet.
not
That's why
true,
all
bro.
currency. Yes, it is.
Okay,
That's
okay,
That's
stupid.
guys.
not true.
Breaking
That's
news.
not
Breaking
That's
true,
news.
stupid.
I just
Debt.
googled how
Who's
That's
much
stupid.
debt China
settling
owes
debts
United
outside of
States
Japan
the
owns a
in regards to Russia.
significant portion of
So
U.S. debt also.
here's the amounts. Here's the
Yeah,
numbers.
owns a
China,
Can we
United
can we
States,
let
China,
Bobo trying to
Volvo.
avoid facts?
So China
Please, can you tell
owns
us?
$750 million, $1 billion, 750 roughly $1 billion of U.S. debt. Now
Yeah.
check this out. Wait a minute. So I asked the question: how much debt does the United States own of China? And every time I put that in, it would give me the same answer as what I just found out. It gives me how much debt
Smart.
China owes of the United States. Now listen to this though. The biggest owners of Chinese debt is number one, Pakistan, number two, Argentina, and number 3, and I think Angola's number 3. So the United States, if United States,
You're not saying nothing. You're just
no,
learning
this
this.
is what Will said, that the United States owns Chinese debt as well. The Chinese owns United States debt. Chinese is the biggest owner with 750 billion, almost close to a trillion. And so
And you couldn't get the amount for
I'm
America.
dispelling that by saying the 3 largest debt owners of Chinese debt is Pakistan, Argentina, and Angola.
But how is that
Whether you
dispelling that?
What
I
are their numbers,
never argued
Shy?
that
What are
no
the
one else
numbers
is
relative to that of
China.
China?
I never argued that no
So
one
the
else owns
numbers
Chinese debt.
for Pakistan is something like 20 something billion is
well,
how much
Yeah, something billion is
debt
not the same
Pakistan
as
owns.
800 or 700 billion.
Right. So
y'all trying to act like y'all these finance
what
guys and all this.
Pakistan
Make it real
owns
simple.
of Chinese debt is something around
And
200,
he's reading this bullshit.
So
He
20
don't even know
something
what
billion.
Bobo, we trying to hear him, bro, please.
Wow,
he's not
brother,
saying
come
nothing.
on.
bunch
I'm
of
just giving some
goofies, man.
information. Jeez
Right. You're not
Louise.
saying nothing. You just
Okay, but no, it's not what you want to hear.
He
But
is saying something, but
I'm
you don't understand what he's saying.
right, because you're not listening. Because Will had said that the United States owns Chinese debt as
Chinese debt as
well.
well.
The Chinese owns United States debt. It appears not, because every time I put in how much debt does the United States own, the chat GBT doesn't give me an answer. It
So
only
again,
Joe,
right.
because
so
all you gonna
hold
say,
on.
Yeah, but
And
not
then
everything can be
Hold on, you
found
was
on
talking to
Chat
me.
GPT. So a
that's
person like
true, but
Willie,
it
You was
did
talking
who's
to
say how
me.
into
much. It did
finance,
say
may
its
have
biggest debt
information
owner
that is not
though.
out there for you to find on Chat
But it
GPT.
did
So
say the biggest debt
This
owner
is
let
is
him
why I
use his
Chinese
told you
debt.
to look up
expertise
the
and
SOFR
enlighten
rate.
us, man.
But it
It's
did say the
This
biggest
is
debt
why I
owners
told
of
you to
Chinese
look up
debt,
the
and the
USA
SOFR.
United
owns
States
China.
wasn't in there.
But
Owns
y'all don't want to
China,
hear me.
sorry.
Let's listen to
So
Willie. Willie's the expert on this issue, man. Go ahead, Willie.
that I simply asked to look up SOFR, the SOFR rate, SOFR. That is the secured overnight funding rate, meaning this is the amount that treasuries lend to each other. I'm saying each day, right? Nations lend each other billions of dollars a day, literally with a B, billions a day. Those amounts fluctuate, right? But I'm not surprised you can't find the amount of debt we own, we own of China. One, because China likes to keep that quiet, and two, a lot of investment and lending to China, it's not going to be forecast. Like you're not going to know how much JP Morgan Chase lent China today. It's just not something you're
can
going to
I
find
can
through
I
Right,
can
Chat
bro.
I
That's
ask you
GPT.
not
this?
that's
So
not
Willie,
indicative.
right? We have somebody in the chat who went to the London School of Economics, a
Come on, bro.
highly
You don't
rated
have to tell
financial
me shit, bro.
institution.
Come on, bro. He not gonna
African Goddess is breaking it down in the chat on how these things work
bro. Listen,
and
Cuddy,
how the interest will be accrued, and you know the total amount after that,
Cuddy,
that fiscal year. I
what's the
mean,
money?
let's not argue with a man who's into finance, bro. I mean, Volvo, we know we
Know this
respect
guy
you.
in finance or not? Why not? I'm in the finance. What do you think I'm driving the truck for?
Do you
You
have
know,
a finance? Do you
Bobo
have
is
a
not
He's
into
degree in
not
finance,
finance,
finance.
Bobo.
Volvo?
I have a degree in finance to be in the finance. Why you think I'm
Did,
driving the
No,
truck?
I mean there's
yeah.
technical stuff, brother. I mean let's not
Bobo,
be
you are into
Did you study
I'm going to
logistics.
retire
yeah
in my
macroeconomics?
Bobo,
let's
you
not
are
be
into
ultra
logistics.
crepidarians,
You're
right?
not into
I'm going to
finance.
Knowing a
retire.
little bit about something don't make you an
You
expert in
are
it.
into
I'm going to retire in my
logistics.
40s.
Your field is
Right.
not
I'm going to
finance.
retire in my
Right.
Your
40s.
field
I have
is
to be doing something right.
logistics.
Let me ask Cuddy
What do
this.
you know about
Be
macroeconomics,
very
Volvo
clear.
Rants?
Absolutely
Listen,
nothing.
Cuddy. What's the money where you are? If you could go real fast before they cut you off.
It's CFA.
It's what? What is it called?
They use the franc, but they getting ready to change to the
What's the money
they
today? Well, it's the franc. How many
yeah,
francs? How many francs do it take to make $1?
shit like 500.
There it go, right there.
It's
Everything
not
is
about
measured
that.
up
It's
against the
about when you
U.S.
go to
dollar.
the store. If you go to the store
Listen,
and spend it,
the
the same
pound is much
thing I
more
could
stronger
spend
than the
$1
dollar and the
on.
euro,
Huh?
Volvo.
Go
Can't get
ahead.
nothing in it for $1 in America, but
Right.
for your dollar here,
Yeah.
it go about the same.
Talk about it.
Anything that's $1, they charge $1 for it.
Y'all can't be this easy to handle. You can't be.
Volvo,
Everything is
the
measured up
pound
against
is
the
always been
U.S. dollar.
stronger than the
It's
dollar,
the
though. You
world's
do know that.
currency. Everybody settles their debts in dollars. What do you do when
That's
you?
not true.
Yes, it is. If you go
Not
to the store
anymore.
and
That's
you buy a
not
phone
true.
Not
or you buy
anymore,
a
bro.
bottle of water,
That's never
It's
It's
been
not
not
true
true.
anymore.
anymore.
That's the old
That's
Why
way
you
of
think
never
the
been
doing
price is
it.
true.
so high in America? Tell me why. Why the price is so high in America right now?
because
Since you
there's
so
so many
smart,
dollars in
since you
America.
so
There's so many
financial.
dollars. When
Nope,
there's an abundance of
nope,
stuff, when there's an
nope.
abundance of
That's
stuff,
because
it
the
goes
American
down.
dollar losing value
If I put,
outside of America.
huh?
So you gonna feel it first before everybody else
No,
feel it.
no,
The dollar has devalued,
because
and
it's
credit rating
it's
of the
been
United States has
devaluing.
gone
It's too
down.
It's been
complex for you to
devaluing.
understand.
The
Y'all don't
credit
know what's
rating
going
has
on.
been
Y'all don't
dropped
know.
by
Y'all
whoever makes the credit
don't know.
rating,
Y'all
and
don't
the
know.
value of the dollar is going down
Y'all
as
don't know.
well.
Y'all don't know what's
And
going
it's
on.
not just
Everything
because of the infusion of lots of money into the society, because that is one thing that makes
because
inflation,
we're getting
is the
richer over here.
infusion of
That's why
money.
it's
So
We're
called
I agree with you
inflation.
on that,
getting
It's too
richer.
Rance.
much money in
We're
the
getting
Rance
system.
didn't even
richer.
hear what I said. I agree with him in the fact that when you infuse a lot of money into the country, it does make the value go down. But it isn't just that; it's also other factors, and those factors are being played out in political realm too, in geopolitics, which is what we're talking about. Um,
But we got
yeah,
to be honest though, that is the
Can
primary
we get
factor,
back to our
right?
topic?
When you hear the Fed raise rates, when you hear the Fed lowered rates, right? That determines the amount of money in the system. So if the Fed lowers rates, right? They're printing more money. They make it cheaper to borrow. The more money that goes into the system, the less those dollars are worth. If
Mhm.
the Fed raises rates, they're pulling back on the monetary system. So they're taking money out of the system. That will increase the dollar because it goes on a simple supply and demand. You get what I'm saying? The more dollars in the market, the less they're worth. The less
Okay,
dollars in the market, the more the dollars
right.
worth.
But what
I got
about
a
the
question for
credit
you, Willie,
rating?
and I'm sure you know this, right? It's a bit complicated. Maybe you can explain it for me and Volvo. Explain to us what quantitative easing is.
So quantitative easing is cutting rates at kind of drastic levels. It's not as easing as it pretends to be, but it basically makes it easier for more money to be in the market, right? So when you hear about quantitative easing, you hear about that during the housing crisis, right?
Yeah.
And the reality was the credit markets were drying up, like people just weren't lending money,
Being a
right?
child.
But if I take the amount of money it costs you to borrow, right? So if it goes from you borrowing $1 million goes from 5% to 0.5%, well, now all these banks are going to borrow that money because now if they lend it to you for a credit card and
Got a
you're
hot
paying
mic.
You think it's
7%,
appropriate what she's posted online?
you're making money hand.
Wildflower, your mic is hot.
No, look. She's posted already. I don't know what she's posting.
Wildflower, your mic is
Told me
hot.
she's in my A group. She's in my drama class. Fair. You think
Wildflower,
it's
your mic
appropriate?
is hot.
Dinus, you got to mute her. I think she's talking to a
No,
colleague
no, no,
in
no,
the
no, no.
workplace.
That's a horrible person, man. That's a terrible
And
person,
how about
man.
this? How about this?
She's doing that on purpose.
Yeah, she is. Yeah, and they know it too.
Go ahead, Willie. We're trying to learn. Go ahead,
Oh
Willie.
my.
Y'all some
14. No.
weirdos, man.
Would you say how she's
Y'all
acting
East
is appropriate?
Africans, man. Them some
Not for her
horrible people,
age. I
man.
didn't even.
I never met
She's
a
So
not
pleasant.
gone up so
I
quickly.
never met one that was
so
pleasant. I
but
never met a
but
pleasant East
the
African in my
raising
life.
of the rates isn't the quantitative easing. The quantitative easing
Yes,
is
you're
purchasing,
tired.
right? It's actually
No,
buying
darling.
monetary instruments from these banks. So it's literally buying their bad investments, right? And making their balance sheets look better because you
Who
fought this
who
bullshit that they've created. These CDOs, these credit default swaps, all those
wait,
things,
that's quantitative easing by them selling certain financial
buying
instruments,
it, buying it.
by them buying certain things, a
Right,
certain, whatever it
right,
is quantitative easing.
correct.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, I thought
basically
my
it's
understanding. I thought it was trying to flood more money into the market so that consumer, you know,
nah.
can have
What
more
it was
money
was
so that
this.
they can invest more into the economy, and that it kind of eases the pressure off the banks.
Nah, what it was this, right? Like when the banks have bad balance sheets, so they have credit default swaps like CDOs or credit default obligations and all of that, right? All of this stuff was going to zero, right? So now a bank's balance sheet is kind of defined by the amount of assets they have on hand. That's what's going to determine how much they can lend, right? And we all know lending is how banks make money. Well, if they're looking at their balance
Slaves in
sheet,
debt.
if they're looking at their balance sheet and they're saying, damn, this stuff was worth $10 yesterday, it's worth $2 now. So that's $8 worth of wealth that now they're not willing to lend out into the world. So quantitative easing is the government saying, all right, you know what? We're gonna buy all that bullshit to open your balance sheet up so you can lend the people money. You get what I'm
So I got a
saying?
question. I got a question, Will. How do you keep people out of debt then? That's a debt trap. Which everything you saying to me right now, it sounds like to keep a slave in debt trap.
I mean, it all just depends on how you look at credit and debt. Debt doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. You get what
Yeah,
I'm
you're
saying?
right.
And what does the credit rating of a country have to do with the money going up or down in value? Like the credit rating for the United States has gone down a somewhat a little bit, and
America has never dropped below a triple A, I don't believe, right? Last
Nah,
time
they
oh
I
down
was
to double
yeah,
looking,
C.
Nah,
yeah,
Moody's and Standards and Poor's, they've dropped it.
The value of
That's
the
big.
below
American dollar
below
at number
yeah,
triple A,
10 on the
recently,
list.
below
Yeah,
triple A.
yeah. They used to have a
yes,
perfect rating. They dropped it. I mean, well, if you're in finance, you should know
No,
that.
no, no,
That's a
no, no,
big
no.
deal, bro.
yeah.
But the way the ratings work, you have triple A plus, you have triple A, you have triple A
Oh,
negative,
that's only
and then
for
you have
America.
other A's as well, right? It's not, a one trick pony. So it kind of breaks down in tiers. And that's the thing about the US dollar. It's backed by the full faith and credit of the US government. And so the government's credit score, which is basically what that reporting is, right? It's their credit score. So now other countries are willing to lend us money because they know they're going to get paid. You get what I'm saying? That's why when Moody's or Standard and Poor's drops the credit rating, it kind of shakes up the markets, especially the bond markets, because it says, all right, the likelihood of you paying isn't what it was yesterday. You got to get it together. You
So,
get what
but
I'm
does that
saying?
affect the value of the dollar overall?
Um,
Yep.
not directly, but long term, yes.
When you say
Okay.
lend us money, right? Countries lend us money. What are they? They giving us a bag of money? Like, what are you saying? We say lend us money.
In some cases, yes. In some cases, like when I'm talking about SOFR, like it's literally just sending cash, right? Today,
Minerals.
America lends Bangkok $7 billion overnight at 4.3%, right? And so now in the morning, that will mature and we'll get our $7 billion back plus 4.3% of interest on 7 billion.
No,
Banks like treasuries do this with each other every day.
when you say countries lend us money, that's what you said, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, but how
Yes.
do you think you got 34 trillion in debt, Volvo, if you're not borrowing money from countries, brother?
Because
Off the American
it's about the
credit.
it's about the amount of dollars going out versus the amount of dollars coming in. America is a
Nah. Are you talking
that's
about tariff? Is
that's
that
what
what you're
that
talking
is.
about?
That's what that is. America is a monetary sovereign. Why do you think everything is
So
The
this
debt
is
measured?
is
too complex
treasuries.
for
The
Volvo,
debt is
man.
treasury
America,
bonds.
the country is a
When
mon.
people
Why
are
do you think
talking about
everything?
US debt, they're
Why do you
mainly
think
talking
Yeah,
everything
about
people are
is?
buying our treasury bonds
they're
for
Why do you
talking
money
about
think
and they're holding
everything?
treasuries.
it.
Why do you think everything is
I don't
measured
mean to
in U.S.
interrupt, but I
dollars?
hate hearing
I just
goofy
talked with a
shit.
guy that's the
Right.
only guy that's
So,
not in America on the panel,
so
and
Volvo,
he instantly gave me a breakdown of the franc versus the dollar. He knew it off the top of his head. He didn't even know he was proving my point.
He didn't know it off the top of his head. He was giving you an
Volvo,
estimate.
let me answer Volvo real
He
quick. See,
had the
Volvo, you
estimate
want
on
to
top of
know?
his
please
head.
don't
It's
ask
deeper than
Volvo
what you can
anything.
think. You see, this is how francs
Okay,
get
my
the
bad.
value
I'm
of
back. I'm
francs.
back, guys. I got to read these super chats, and then I got to pass it to Festus. Spellcaster Cuddy, always speaking facts. Salute Cuddy. Thank you for $2 holla. FBA Yen Line. Thank you for 1999 holla. China owns about 860 billion in U.S. Treasury securities. This is roughly 10 to 12% of the total U.S. debt held by foreign countries. Total U.S. national debt is over 34 trillion, so China holds less than 3% of it.
Thank you.
Austin
That's
GT, thank you for the 499 holla. China is approximately $16.65 trillion in debt to America.
and
USA,
see,
excuse me,
my bad.
USA is
How
1 trillion in debt to China. FBA airline, thank you for 499 holla. Americans preying on the downfall of the USD are literally dumb as fuck. Philly Yardy vibes, thank you for the $10 holla. The over weaponizing of the USD has led to BRICS and BRICS Plus. All right, go ahead, Festus.
So,
Hey,
Dinus, you said
Well,
that China's debt, United States owns how much of China's debt?
Trillions with a T.
Festus, bro. I think Festus is a
No, you
finance
said
guy. Let's see
okay,
what
sixteen
he got to
billion.
say.
You said
go ahead,
16
Festus.
billion or something.
Go ahead, Festus.
Well, afternoon, Dynast, long time. I don't really know where to start, but I'll probably jump in on the quantitative easing conversation that you guys started.
Yeah.
So I think when you talk about what quantitative easing is, the Federal Reserve, they use that to stimulate the economy, probably how they used to like lower interest rates. So they create digital money and they also buy financial assets and they'll
Correct.
also flood the market with liquidity. So that makes banks, other banks, the smaller banks, loan us money to buy what we want to buy.
This brother
And
knows what he's talking about.
Absolutely.
That's what I
yeah,
was saying, and you
He
said
said
no
it
with it.
accurately. He said it accurately.
All right, let him finish. Go ahead, Festus.
yeah. Then I think when you talk about like how other countries loan the US money, US is obviously the world superpower, so they don't really need all of us taxpayers to pay to fund what they do overseas. If you look at the oil producing countries, Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, Oman, most of their
Yep.
money, there's a term called petrodollar recycling.
Yep.
So the money that those countries make actually gets sent back into the US Treasury. Basically, the US controls those countries. Countries like China, they used to buy US bonds, which also funds the US economy. So the US doesn't really need to invest at home since they actually have everyone's savings.
They've got a cyclical revenue stream where that money's going to come back,
Shut up,
Can
Billy.
you
essentially, right?
I mean, let him. I'm trying to
No, I
hear.
was
Let him
asking him
finish.
if he agreed.
Go ahead, Festus. Go ahead, Festus.
So the way the system works now that the US is number one is basically any trade that you do globally. If India is trying to buy coal from Australia, it has to be done in the US dollar. If China is trying to buy oil from Saudi, Saudi will sell oil in US dollar because Saudi is actually a US puppet. A lot of people don't know it, but there's a King Faisal. He was the
Isaac.
one who embargoed the US back in the 1973. Oil price actually went up crazy about 3 times due to the war that the US was assisting Israel against the Arab countries. And that king got assassinated. You also have the US military bases in those regions. So obviously the US is in control of those countries and their resources. So basically the entire world's savings is in the dollar. The entire world's anything that you buy, so the US just has to print dollar and everyone uses that. So that's basically America's export. So if you are a rogue nation, according to what the US and their European allies define that, they can cut you off of global trade. It's not just being cut off from the US trade. All of the US allies, Japan, South Korea, or
NATO.
what have you, they will stop trading with you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
That's
tell
where
them
the
about
section
BRICS,
is.
bro.
That's where the
Tell
test
them
is. That's what I've been
everything
saying
you
the
just
whole
said.
time.
Everything you just said, Fetus. Tell them about how BRICS is the backbone of
You
everything.
totally missed what he said, and you start
There you
talking.
go.
His name is Festus, not Fetus.
Fetus was wild.
Let Festus answer. Go ahead, Festus. Ask the
You
question.
totally
So
missed what the guy just said.
Super
Everything you
smart,
said went over his
Ah,
head.
Robo, be
Even your
quiet.
name.
Be quiet. Go ahead, Festus.
okay, so I think BRICS primarily, a lot of countries are fed up because the US
Go ahead,
obviously
say it.
sanctions. Yeah.
Say it.
So if
Keep
you
it
so
real
if
with them,
you yeah,
Fetus.
so if you Brazil and you're trading with other countries, like why do you have to use the US dollar? If you are China and you trade, I mean your trade to most other countries outstrips the US, you're the largest manufacturer, you're the largest exporter. Why should you be using the US dollar? Especially when most countries trade more with you than with the US. So wouldn't it be beneficial most for most countries to actually trade in a different currency, especially when you see how Russia was sanctioned? All of Russia's assets in European banks were frozen. So obviously it makes sense to use your own currency or create something else. So that's a threat to the US because the monetary control that America has, they're not going to just sit down and let that go away. So, but back to what you said about like BRICS, China, Brazil, Russia, India, and then South Africa joined. And then you have like the BRIC Plus, a lot of other countries that joined later, I think last year. Everyone's just tired of the US. Is it really possible that they'll make a currency to rival the US economy? I'm
But,
not
but
100%
sorry,
sure because
It's already made.
trade between Brazil, China and Brazil have been trading in the renminbi already. They started doing that, so it's not a dream. It's already happening.
Yeah, the
well, I
dollar
didn't say
just
that's
dropped
not
like 2
happening.
days ago.
I didn't say that's not happening. But let's take India for instance. India is not necessarily friends with China per se. There's like a rivalry going on, and
Correct.
India still more or less relies on American tech. So India is not. I wouldn't say they should rely deeply on India in this space, but India is probably going to see what everyone else is doing before they jump
They're
on
gonna be a
board.
problem though.
Yeah,
India,
but
they gonna be a problem.
Russia is like fuck the US already, and everyone's
Russia
probably
all
just waiting on China to get on. But the other thing is like China has money in the US bond market, and they're not just gonna like take that out immediately overnight. And they also fall short of losing their money if America cannot pay that. So there's a lot of complexities with BRICS. South Africa is all talk. The US controls South Africa economically. I mean, the whites they control the resources there. So the US doesn't really have much to fear, but they should definitely be worried about what's going on with the BRICS
And
country. But I think the US would implode first before other countries move away from the dollar system.
That's what's happening now with inflation. That's why the prices is up so high in America, man.
But do you
prices ain't
notice
even
that
that bad
everybody's
no more,
attention
bro.
is on Africa right now? I mean,
That's where the
in the
resources.
last 5, 6 years, that everybody's been trying to position themselves resource wise and also as much political wise as they can in Africa. Africa is everybody's trying to get Africa.
Cause this the land
Everybody
of
been
milk and
trying to
honey.
get Africa. This ain't last 10 years. This been going on for
No,
centuries.
but I
Yeah,
mean, it's
it's
been
been
an
going on.
increase.
Oh,
It's
You are
been an
you are
sorry,
right.
increase,
I
though.
No,
can't
it hasn't.
understand
It's
No,
you.
it
it's
hasn't. It's been
it's
the
been
Well, I
same.
going
say
on,
that
but
the reason I say that, Vovo, is because of when I've been watching the news and I've been watching these countries going into different countries, these different Turkey, who else?
Yep.
Been over there.
UAE, what's
Bahrain, Oman,
Qatar, all of these
all
different
of them here,
places
bro.
have
Yeah, we
been
get y'all
meeting
place.
All of them here
with
spending money.
these different countries to work out deals where they can get these resources. And this
Look
has
where
been
they at.
happening.
What do you
This has
think
been
that?
Calm
happening.
down, Bobo. Calm down. Nothing's
Yeah,
gonna eat
What are
you.
you talking
Fuck's
right,
about?
sake.
right.
What are
Yeah,
y'all talking
nothing's
about?
gonna eat you. So I'm talking about what's been going on. I've been monitoring shit in the last
You're correct, my
5
brother. You're
years.
very correct. Don't worry about Volvo with his
Yeah,
panickiness.
I'm being patient with him. So I'm being patient with him purposely, so he'll understand what it is I'm saying. And you don't have to be reactionary, sir.
The guy made a very great point. We settle all debts on the planet Earth that we all live on. Everybody you ever knew, ever will know, live on this same planet. Did all debts on planet Earth are settled in United States dollars. That's why everything is measured up
Not
against
all, about 90%, Volvo, not all.
everything. Well, that's the world's currency at the end of the day. That's what you're
Yeah, but
going.
it's not gonna stay that way. It's
Hold
not
on.
going to. There are challenges.
Let me say this, right? That's why everything is measured up against the dollar. The guy just broke it down. I've been saying this the whole time. But for some reason, when he said it, you guys can listen. Maybe because I'm
No. You
guys.
didn't. You were accurate in what you were saying.
Yeah, I was accurate, but we had a so-called finance guy, Willie, up here. He don't know what he's talking about. He don't know what he's talking about. He just said he's a finance guy, so everybody said, "Oh yeah, Willie's a finance
No,
guy."
no. Well, I wasn't listening to Willie. Willie's an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot, complete idiot. He's over here. He's one race, and on the other channels, he's another race. He's an idiot. Y'all gotta wake up to the game. Everything BRICS ain't gonna do nothing. That will start World War III.
Volvo, you
Well,
think
that's where we're
you
headed.
have financial
You know what?
you have
Ain't
more
that
knowledge
talking bombs
financially
and
that we should
missiles
listen to you,
everywhere?
Volvo?
You ain't paying attention.
Why not? If I
World War
just told
III
you about the
already
guy
going
just confirmed
on.
it.
But Volvo, you have no expertise in finance. What is your expertise in finance, brother?
My bank account.
Oh man.
What are you? Just because you go to college for something, that don't mean that don't mean you know it like front and back.
Check this
My
out
bank
though. Check
account.
this out though,
I
bro.
study this.
World
I
War III
study this
already
shit.
going on.
Ah
The
man.
shift has
No, it
already
ain't.
happened.
No, it ain't.
Ain't they dropping bombs all over the place? You see
Who
what's
dropping
going on
bombs
in
all over the
Gaza?
place?
Do you see Russia whooping all the NATO by themselves in
No, he not.
Ukraine right now?
What are you talking about? Russia got a respite because Trump wasn't sending weapons. Now he said he about to send the weapons there
That's what I'm saying.
to
Like, yeah,
defend Ukrainians.
so much babble on
Y'all
the
watch too
internet,
much
and these guys.
CNN, that Coonan News Network.
Well, what?
Bro,
Y'all watch
Trump just said it himself. What are you talking about? It's not CNN that's reporting it. Trump said
what
he's
he
going to
say?
start sending weapons to Ukraine again.
So what Trump say is the end all be all.
Yeah,
What
right
Putin
now.
say?
I mean, how do you think Russia was being kept at bay? Because the U.S. was sending weapons, and those weapons was
Hey, Elvis,
helping the
what did
Ukrainians
Putin
protect
say?
themselves.
Elvis, what did Putin say?
I don't know what Putin said, bro. I only know what Trump
So
said.
you go out what Trump say.
He's my president, nigga. What do you want me to think?
Oh, boy, that's where you lost.
Do I pay attention to what Putin says? Am I a Russian? I'm not a Russian, nigga.
That's where you lost.
He your president too over there in Africa. Trump your president in Africa.
Well, halfway. I got two presidents. I got eBay and I got Trump.
eBay defers to Trump.
You're a U.S. citizen, brother. You're not a Burkinabe, brother.
Even in Africa, you're an African citizen.
You're a U.S. citizen, bro.
If you anywhere on planet Earth,
You can't choose. You haven't relinquished your U.S. citizenship, brother. You're a U.S.
I
citizen.
don't gotta relinquish shit.
You have to relinquish it. If you don't, the U.S. still have jurisdiction over you, bro.
Well, tell me about dual citizenship.
If you on planet Earth, you have.
That's what I'm saying. Are you a Burkinabe? Do you have a Burkinabe citizenship?
Not yet.
Not yet. So then, what are you talking about? You're a U.S. citizen, man. Just let it be. Donis can tell you about dual citizenship. He's a dual citizen.
Hold on, Elvis. You said the
I'm a
N-word, Elvis.
citizen. It ain't about that. It's about where I'm at and what I choose.
Get his ass, Don.
Yeah, Donis, you don't have to give me a pass on this one. I've been on the show a couple of times. People have been saying the N-word. You should have paid, but I'm just saying.
You don't get no pass.
In all fairness, you got to just give me a warning on this one, Donis.
One mic. Starting from now, the $10 tariff is in effect. No N-word. Let me pass it to T.
Fair enough.
Can I say it before you start the tariff? Can I say it one time?
No, you can't. Go ahead, T.
A Liberian. You don't deserve no.
Yeah, man. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
I had to take it off my Obama phone. No, man. I just had to respond. One guy kind of triggered me where he tried to insult the panel by saying, we're in World War III and they watching CNN. And that was one of the dumbest things I've heard in my life. Because like, bro, you are lost. What if we're in World War III? What countries right now is Britain and Italy and France engaged in?
Hey, hold on one second, Jagu, you on your Obama phone, Jagu. You got a lot of feedback, so I had to mute you. Go ahead, T.
Yeah. It's just that these people who act like they are smarter than they really are it's just embarrassing to pass around faulty information like that, backed by nothing in the black space, especially when you got access to the internet and you got Negroes just making stuff up out of thin air and passing it as fact, backed by nothing. We're not in no World War III. And then he said, you know what's going on in Gaza and Israel? What the hell, bro? They've always been fighting. That's not no World War III. Like that is such a stupid assertion to even say something dumb like that. Gaza and Israel. Like I said, is Africa involved in that war?
What would be a World War III?
Is Asia involved in that war?
Exactly. Oh, nuclear bombs is World War III to them when ain't nobody else here. That's
what World War III gonna be.
Exactly. Yeah. If we are in World War III when the nukes drop in, this is one of the reasons why.
All our heads any day now. Anyway, if Trump
No, bro. You don't know anything about, bro. Stop talking about stuff you know nothing about.
What you mean?
The only way, I'll be honest with you, the only way we can even get into World War III is if Trump does something stupid in Ukraine by putting American boots on the ground, and then the first American or Russian who kills each other. Oh, you better believe it. We're going to be in World War III because that's definitely going to be a nuclear armed conflict. Other than that, we're not even close, man. I'm just saying, like, bro. You don't know anything about foreign policy, and it's just embarrassing. And then you try to insult the panel by saying the panel is watching Cool News Network, and you're the loudest and dumbest in the room.
I agree with T. Cooley for once.
brother. Church. I second that. That guy's an idiot, man. He don't know what's going on. He's just talking. A lot of these guys just come
You,
over here and just talking.
Bobo, and
They don't
You
know
Elvis,
know,
nothing.
he's
but
not
They
an
don't
y'all got
idiot.
to
study.
be the
They don't do
dumbest.
nothing.
He
Y'all
made
They
some
not
just
good
paying
points
attention.
talk.
earlier.
See,
They
this
just
might
talk.
be too complex for y'all. T,
That don't work.
Bobo,
Just
and
like
Cuddy,
Elvis.
are you
It
serious,
might be a
Cuddy?
little too
get out of here with
complex
that.
because Elvis presents himself as a genius, but he dumb as
I'm
rock.
not a genius, brother. I never do.
I know
I'm
you
a
do. You
genius.
do your
Bobo's a
research
genius.
before you jump on and speak. Yeah, but T obviously must not be watching. I don't know what you missing. You just said it's in everybody's face. Why isn't it World War III when you got America and Europe funding what's going on in Ukraine and Gaza?
I got a simple.
Genocide.
I got a simple question for you, Volvo. Not Volvo, but Cuddy.
So
Do
how
you
does
know
that
why
make
they
that
call it? No, no. Hold on. Do you know why they call it World War II and World War One?
Because countries was involved, but how did it lead up to?
No. When you say countries was involved, what do you mean countries?
Yeah, you had allies. Peoples was supplying before they actually put boots on the ground, right?
Man.
Just like
So
America was funding the
a
Nazis.
country single-handedly dropping a
America
nuclear
was
bomb
funding the
does not
Nazis during
denote
World War II,
war.
right?
For something to be a war, it means a lot of the countries in every continent on the planet has to be involved. That's what a war
Ain't
is.
too much
Not
countries pick which
necessarily.
side.
The
It's
people
side
in
versus
power
side.
You
have to
had
want
the
to.
African theater, you had Europe, Asia, the Pacific theater. I mean, almost every region in the world was involved in those
I would
wars.
Yeah,
agree with
because
you on
they
that
picked a
definition,
side,
but
right?
that's not what white folks mean when they talk
No,
about
I'm
world
saying,
war.
yeah, I know, but I'm
When they
saying
say world war,
when he
they're
says
talking
if a
about
country,
them
one
fighting
second,
each
bro,
other.
when he said if a country just drop a nuclear bomb, that's the start of war. I'm saying that's a singular country that's
Yeah,
doing
but
a
the
singular
Europeans
act. It's not
fighting each
involving the
other was a
entire
world
war
war.
in
World
combat.
War One was Europeans fighting each fucking other, and they made the definition of. But what your definition is more of what a world war is, but not to them because they are the world, and
But
anybody other
our
than them
continent was
is
involved in
not the
both of those
world.
wars, right?
I know, but
Okay.
it was very on the periphery of, and I'm saying that they're the world to them, and everybody else is not the world. So by definition, you're third world, or the developing country,
Cattle.
or
I said
whatever.
we cattle.
So 50 years from now, we're gonna be remember this time as World War III. We're
Bobo
alive
damn
right
so
now for
cattle.
World War III right now
He
today.
handles
Is
half
that
the
what you're
material.
saying? Y'all don't know what y'all talking about,
Cattle.
bro.
Yeah, many countries are not actively involved in wars, right? Like you had the Ukraine and
That's
Russia
just like
war. That's a
hey
hot
Elvis,
war that's
Elvis,
going
check this
on.
out. Check this out.
America's not involved in the war.
Check
Just
this
because
out.
I
Say
send you
your
some
homeboy
weapons.
go do a drive-by, right? And you gave him the bullets. Did you have something to do with it?
Yeah, but
I mean, no. When you sell,
You didn't have nothing to do with it.
listen, let me explain. You asked me a question, right?
the gun store and that don't mean
Usually, nations buy guns for self defense, for protection, right?
But
So you
is
have to
America
hold on,
giving?
brother, hold on.
Ain't they giving
What do you mean
ammunition
giving? They're
to
selling.
Ukraine?
You're not giving. They're selling it.
Ukraine don't got no money to buy, so they giving. That's why they trying to collect all
Yeah,
this
but
money.
they do
Ukraine is
got money.
rich
They
in
got
natural
resources.
resources.
They're
They're
getting
gonna
that.
get
They're getting
paid
natural
back
They don't got
in
resources
no
from
more
Ukraine in
resources.
exchange for guns. Money is not the only thing that buy goods. Cuddy. Money is not the only thing that buy goods. Resources also does.
Russia already took that resource rich
Oh
land.
man, I mean this guy's a Russia puppet, man. You got to get out of Burkina Faso, man. Damn.
That's what that is. Oh,
When you
that's what
hear
you call
about
that. Yeah.
Crimea, one of the
Nah,
main
I'm
reasons
just being
Russia
real about
wants
the situation.
Crimea is because Crimea is like
Don't be
filled to
mad
the brim with oil,
because
right?
your
That's one
master
of the
will
reasons
lose
why
his.
Russia has always focused on taking Crimea. But to that point,
But that's not
Ukraine does
true.
have a lot of other natural resources that the U.S.
Like
will be
what?
paid back with.
Like what? Like what?
And then
I,
they can't get
I
to
just
them.
said
You lay the
oil.
egg, you don't know.
I
They
just
got
said
wheat.
oil.
They
Yeah,
supply.
they're the largest producer of wheat in Europe. That's one.
Yeah.
The wheat
No, I
that
know
But
Russia
they
that.
have
took from
other natural
Ukraine and gave
minerals
to
like
Africa. That wheat
Mother
y'all
didn't
talking
know
about?
that. He
Is
didn't
that
know.
the wheat
These
y'all
guys
talking
just be
about?
going here talking.
say that again, Cuddy.
The wheat that Russia took and gave to
They didn't
Africa.
take the wheat.
Burkina Faso being one of them countries. That's the wheat y'all talking about.
I mean,
That's what
you think you could just take all of a country's wheat? Wheat is it could be regrown, bro. What are you talking about, man?
Got no man. Look,
You can't take all of a country's
I'm
wheat
saying the
and
real
deplete
resources
and they can
Ukraine
replenish it,
has.
brother.
Ukraine has manganese. Ukraine has
NATO lost that.
lithium.
Yeah, they have a lot of
NATO
natural
lost
You said
resources.
they don't have manganese.
It's a vast country
Charge
too.
it to the game. NATO lost Ukraine. You got to charge it to the game.
What do you? I mean, dude,
Ukraine
don't
was
come on this platform
never a
spreading Russian
part of
propaganda, man.
NATO.
What are you talking about, man?
That's not
Ukraine
Russian
was never a
propaganda. You
part
go
of
mad
NATO.
when your masters look. See,
Right, yeah.
don't come on this platform.
Bro, you're American. What are you talking about? You're not Russian. You're not Burkinabe. You're American.
Yeah, so I can speak
Okay,
the truth.
then. So what are you talking about? Who master? You're American. This is your country.
The truth hurt.
He a fanboy of
Even if I was in America, I would be talking down about the bullshit that was going on.
But you do realize you were wrong. Ukraine was never a part of NATO. We're clear on that.
He knows that.
They're not a part of NATO, but NATO is giving them weapons. NATO, they are a puppet to NATO. They are
No, the U.S. has a foreign interest in Ukraine.
Right.
No. The United States
essentially
they got the United States.
This is essentially Russia's Cuban Missile Crisis. Basically, Russia don't want nobody right in their backyard with nuclear bombs, which would be the case if Ukraine joined NATO. Ukraine has been trying to join NATO for decades now. Ukraine has been trying to be down with the team. Why? Because NATO operates under a policy: you attack one of us, you attack all of us. Right?
Right.
So
Willie, do you know who Viktor Yamashenko is?
Is that the one that they killed? He was the Ukrainian president before.
There you go. Now you're talking. He was a Ukrainian dictator who lost an election, who was backed by Russia. He was a Russian puppet, lost an election, refused to leave, and the people went in the street of Kiev, and they protested, and they ran him out of there, and he fled to Russia. And he's been trying to come back into power ever since.
Right.
So that's one of the issues that Russia wanted. They want to come back and forcefully put him into power. So if you know that name, then you know some of the history behind what's going on in Russia. It's not simply about NATO. Putin is using that as an escape route to justify his invasion of Ukraine.
I disagree. I disagree. And here's why. It's not an excuse. It is a legitimate beef and legitimate gripe. We, as the previous person said, we had a Cuban Missile Crisis when they were setting up people on the in Cuba with missiles, or even more recently than that, when the U.S. had to invade Grenada, we wouldn't stand it. We weren't standing for people setting up stuff in our backyard either. And so what they're basically saying is, when you guys set up this stuff with H.W. Bush, you said that you were not going to have them join NATO. There was going to be no encroachment of NATO. And ever since then, the United States has gone ahead and is not the United States. Well, yes, the United States and Ukraine have inched closer and closer for them joining NATO, and that is a line in the sand that the Soviet Union is not going to stand for.
But that's a very interesting point.
Let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you this, right?
Wait, hold on. That's
okay. Go ahead.
Point that he brought up with Grenada, with Grenada, because can I please? The point that you made about Grenada is important, because little bitty Grenada was not Russian backed, as far as I know. It was African liberation movement, and what that represented, what the invasion of them, what it represented was that no black folks can be running anything really, not even just close, but in the Caribbean in that way, because in a revolutionary way, because of what Haiti did.
It's the Monroe Doctrine. That's called the Monroe Doctrine, Shah, that they have hegemony over the Western Hemisphere.
I get it, but you have other sovereign countries. You have other sovereign countries.
Relax, brother. We're not fighting.
In the Caribbean, you have Jamaica, you have Trinidad. All of these places are sovereign countries. So what's wrong with Grenada having a military? What's wrong with Haiti?
Grenada? That's not what that was.
Let me make my point real quick, right? I let him go so I can make my point later, please.
Being sovereign and managing.
Hey, Shah, let me make my point, right?
That's not.
Let me hold on 1 second, bro. Hold on 1 second, right? You're talking about Russia, right? Let's remember one thing. I got is a good memory, right? When Vladimir Putin took Crimea, he said the reason he hold on, Cuddy, relax, bro. He said the reason he took Crimea is because it historically. Hold on. He said the reason he took Crimea is because historically it belonged to Russia. When he first started his war with Ukraine, he said the Donbass region, they wanted to
Which one of your
secede
people
from
worked for the
Ukraine.
CIA
That
and
was
helped
his
destroy
reason. He said
Liberia?
that they wanted to secede from
Which
Ukraine
one of
and
your
join
people
Russia because they
sold
are
Liberia out
historically
for you to
Russian.
go to
It
America?
wasn't about NATO. He didn't give us a reason
Then
why.
mama or your
I
daddy
remember that press
or your granddaddy?
conference that he did on
Which
TV,
one of
and
your people
he
sold out
enumerated
Liberia so
Yeah,
the
your
but
reasons
people
why he
could
went into
go to America?
Ukraine. It was never
bro, the
about NATO.
reality
It was
though,
always that these people wanted to, leave Russia, Ukraine, and come back into Russia. That was his
but
reason.
that was the BS argument. That wasn't
That's
really
what
like
Putin said. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's why I said
yeah,
he's been lying. He never
yeah.
said it was about you, NATO. He always said that these people are
He's always
Ukraine,
said about he
Russian.
always
They want to leave and come back into Russia. That was his reason. It was never
that's
about
not true.
NATO.
He never
That's not
mentioned
that's not
oil
that's not true.
reserves either. You know what I
There
mean?
was a portion. The truth is there was a portion of Ukraine, the Donbass region, that wanted to go back into Russia because they're ethnically Russian. So it wasn't all of the Ukraine. It was a portion of it. And
I didn't
yes,
say
it
all.
was.
I said that region. I
And
didn't say
yes, it
all of
was.
Ukraine.
And yes, it was. And yes, it was having to do with NATO because NATO was always the issue because quite frankly, NATO is the United States. If you allow NATO in that area, basically you're allowing in the United States.
You're making
That's
that
what the
leap.
issue
But
was.
when the president of Russia spoke, he said that
He
these
right,
people want to
Elvis.
leave
You
Ukraine and join
love
Russia.
white
That was his
supremacy,
main reason
Elvis.
for going
You
there and
love
quote
white
unquote
supremacy.
liberating them to join Russia.
You gave a vow to white supremacy.
Bro, I'm an American. What are you talking about,
Yeah,
bro?
everything
Stay in
he is.
Africa.
Nah,
Being
man,
dusty as Burkina Faso and enjoy your life, man. Leave me alone, man.
Liberian. You a Americo-Liberian.
Nigga,
Because
okay,
he
I owe you
came
10
from
dollars.
No,
Africa,
no,
I'm
that's
a
no,
why.
native
no. You
Hey,
Liberian.
whoa.
Send
That's
it over.
Elvis. That's a fine. That's a fountain.
Yeah,
That's a
that's me.
fine.
Fine.
That's a
Yeah,
Send it
fine.
to Bobo
I'm a
Ranch.
Harlemite.
Send it to Bobo Ranch,
And
and I'm
you
gonna
don't got
forward
the
it.
right to say that
Gotta
word.
make sure that we USD. We ain't
Say
doing
what
no
word? What are
Burkina
you
Faso
talking about?
money, Francs, none of that.
Do you even know who you're
Yeah,
talking to right now?
yeah. Tell them again, Vovo.
Go ahead, Koja. Unmute yourself, Koja. Unmute yourself, Koja.
I'm security around here. I got it, Don. Mute yourself, Kojo.
You're not security, and please don't fake ass security.
You're not security, and please don't
He
think
just ain't got no neck like security.
Robo
That's all.
Rants.
we gonna throw your ass out, Elvis. You better get that 10 around here. Here's the bottom line, right, fellas?
You always have the bottom line, right? Go ahead.
What are you? Hey, man, with the gay jokes now. Hey, we don't do all that now. We ain't doing all that. This ain't that type of space.
No, you need to say no, Diddy, nigga.
Family
I don't
show.
have those
Oh,
issues.
well, hey, Shaw, that's $10. That's $10.
Yeah.
I got you.
You better run it up tonight. Everybody just put 10 in. Anyway, America runs the world. Okay,
Half
yes,
of
we do.
Say
we
half.
run the whole planet.
Nah, that didn't change,
Period.
but in a week.
So
in
let's
a week.
get back to the point, huh?
This past
We
week.
run the whole world. Trump's the leader of the world. Now, how long will this peace last in the Congo? That depends on the Congolese. That depends on them. What do they want? Do you want a perpetual war? Do you want perpetual poverty? Make a deal. Let's get some running water around there. That's what I say. Let's get some infrastructure going. Let's talk for real. Why not learn how to build roads and take care of your people and get some houses and get some stuff going? Join the 21st century.
If it depends on the Congolese, then they're just in trouble because they have proven over and over again to be completely incapable, which is why it was better. They were better off allowing others, African countries that were better run, to go in there and do it. Reinviting in the Americans to come in and do it for you is going to leave you with resources drained out of your country and nothing to show for it. Which goes back to my original point that at least with the Chinese, you would get like some free infrastructure or something. They're going to get nothing for that except taken advantage of. And they signed up for them. And they signed. You're right. And they signed up for themselves. So I don't really think very highly of the Congolese in terms of their ability to govern themselves. They have not proven themselves to be able to do that. I understand they've been probably the most oppressed people in all of Africa, with good reason, because they have the most valuable real estate in all of Africa. So they should have two things should have happened. They should have either struck some sort of deal with Kagame, have him help out and do something, or the African Union, if it was a real organization, would have came in there and intervened. Since neither one of those things happens, they're in trouble.
Kagame and Mussolini, best believe they was involved. They was.
Hey, let me read these super chats. Philly,
end.
already read that one. KJ, thank you for 499 holla. Volvo and most FBA are the definition of black rednecks, white wealth. FBA Young Lion, thank you for 499 holla. Actually, Thomas Sowell, he wrote a book on that called it's like the black rednecks. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that, Volvo. FBA Young Lion, thank you for 499 holla. Any Americans that pray, I already read that one too. Okay, my bad. Here we go. Philly Yardy Vibes, thank you for $5 holla. Figuratively, he is correct. World War II started out with a few countries. FBA Young Lion, thank you for 499 holla. People who pray for the downfall of America are the West, but live in these countries are likely low-income dusties that have nothing to live for. All right. Yeah, and listen, I haven't got my tariffs yet.
Huh. You need me, Donis? You need me?
I haven't got my tariffs yet.
Let me know you want me to handle some business, because I will throw you up out of here till we get our paper.
I ain't got my tariffs yet.
We ain't got our tariffs yet. Yeah. Donis is America. I'm NATO.
I know FBA
I
probably
do all the bomb dropping around here.
But let me just say one thing real quick, Bobo. I'm not praying on the downfall of America, but I'm seeing it. I'm just trying to pass the warning, pass the message. I love my country, y'all. Don't get it twisted. That's why I'm over here in Burkina getting access. You know, I finally found my way in Africa, getting access to resources so I could help y'all.
We'll be all right.
Help my family. You know, leave a legacy. So if something do happen to me, I don't make it the next year. At least I got something to leave to my kids that's in America. At least they won't be stuck in America like them. I can't go over here and link in with these people and bring some resources back to. I can't go over here and get some gold for $1,500, then shoot back to America and sell it for $3,500. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to leave that type of network for my kids and my family.
Are you still doing business with JT the bigger figure?
Hold on, Elvis
No,
ain't got $10.
definitely not.
He ain't got $10.
Oh yeah, guys, let me pass the mic. Big Daddy Pauls. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Big Daddy Pauls that even sound gayer.
All right.
I'm not gay, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Well, I think Africa needs to go ahead and turn power to NATO.
What?
Good. Financially stable.
Nah, God working in Africa already. Africa don't need nobody help. God working. The righteous revolutionaries and the rebels is getting straightened right now. It ain't time for talking.
No, you're not. You doing
Yeah,
that? I just explained what they need. They need, instead of, somebody said earlier that they got Congo, got the richest real estate in Africa. Nobody, people, the world
got to fight for it first.
Listen, they get fighting. When do you stop fighting? Even a boxing match is 12 rounds.
Stop fighting, just like in America.
You got people 5 rounds.
When did the fight in America stop? It never stopped.
What do you mean? When did the fight stop?
It never stopped, right?
When do you mean? It depends on
the fight for black liberation in America. Has it ever stopped?
There's no war in the street in America. There's no war in the street.
It's everybody versus everybody. Everybody in versus everybody in.
That fight a long time ago.
Let me say this, right? If they got the richest real estate in Africa, right? The world needs these
Mexican versus white versus the black versus the Mexican.
Listen, if you would just give me
everybody in America,
seconds, man, 20
it's
seconds.
just tribal on this side.
Okay, yeah, well, that's dumb. But here's the thing:
on both sides, it's dumb. You're right. Only thing gonna save us if we come together and solve our main problem: white supremacy.
I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna be nice. All right,
that's the main problem.
Well, shout out to African God. Shout out to African artists. Thank you for the membership for 3 months. Cuddy, what access to resources are you getting? Is it really worth it?
Gold and silver, and yes, it's worth it. This is worth my life. What I got access to, what I got around my neck. But what I got access to
gold than anybody else. What are you talking about? America got more gold.
How do you secure it? Are you gonna go mine the gold or you gonna pay people? How do you
In
secure
the
it?
ground, there's gold in America in the ground. You got the.
Yeah, but I'm talking about gold and silver that's outside the
I
ground.
don't haul those boxes you see. I haul hazardous
I'm
materials.
asking you, how do you
Raw
secure it?
earth.
Are you
Say
paying
what,
people to
Will?
mine this? Are you
We're
mining it
we're so
yourself?
rich.
Like,
The babies walk around with
how do you
gold.
Yeah,
secure the
they got people
resource?
that get paid to mine, bro. I buy the resources at the state price. See, the state has taken control of their resources. See, so when you go buy your gold bullion, you buy it from the state, and they value their bullion by the market. So right now, you can get a 24K gold bullion bar in Burkina Faso. You can get one right now for $1,500, and you can take it back to America. And how much you can sell it for?
Depends on the weight, right? That's the cost of
How
gold.
much is 1 ounce? How much is 1 ounce?
1 troy
28
ounce
grams.
1,500. Is a
28 grams.
1 troy ounce of gold right now is about 1,500.
No, it's not.
Look it up. Look it up. You act like they charging you 1,500.
Somebody look it up. Somebody teach this boy about money, because he don't know nothing about getting none.
Who don't know? I own gold and silver.
Can somebody please? Can somebody please?
A gold bullion bar in America right now costs about $3,500.
No, what's the weight? When I say troy ounce,
a bar.
An ounce is 28 grams, dummy.
A bar can be this big or a bar can be this big.
Boy, you 28 grams is 28 grams.
A bar of bullion.
28 grams, yeah, it's about the size of this flash drive. It's a 28-gram gold bar.
3,500, dummy.
No,
boy,
it ain't.
Stupid. You don't know
It ain't
nothing
no
about money.
3,500.
You don't know nothing about money, boy.
No, it ain't.
See?
No, it ain't. No,
See?
no, it ain't. A bar of gold today is not no damn $3,500 for.
That's why white supremacy gonna keep you hauling hazard materials.
Yeah, man, and what's wrong with hauling? You gotta have hazardous materials over there in Africa to mine that stuff out. At least I got safety protocol. I got on PPE. I got on gloves. I'm not in the dirt digging out this shit out the ground, making $1 a day. I got on steel toe boots. I got on. What do you mean I might as well be? No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
They're making more money than that.
Our babies ain't out there digging this stuff up. This
gotta use hazard materials.
You act like truck driver life is glamorous.
What do you think it takes to get those raw materials out of the ground? I'm not taking nothing from operation. You gotta have trucks.
You
gotta have.
He owns his own trucks, though.
Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. You ain't.
See, you got to get out of driving the trucks to owning.
They got them digging. That's by choice.
That's
brother.
what my people in America got to get their minds to.
That's by choice.
Like you, Wall Street will, instead of
that's by choice.
shopping at the bank, you got to have your own bank.
That sounds good. That's by choice.
That's what my people got to elevate their minds to.
Listen, they don't even own the gold over there. They
all right, let me read the super chat. FBA online, thank you for the $1.99 holla. Cuddy, depending on his SSI checks to survive.
Hey, I wish I was getting an SSI check, and I would be depending on that to survive. Yeah,
so my homie just bought a hospital
pay water
in Ohio.
bills. Yeah, I don't get one of those though.
So my homie just bought
the same job that those Africans, you see those children. That's bad to see that. I don't like seeing that. Those people that's digging that stuff. Listen, man.
That's
not old.
Manipulated, bro.
That's not old, man. We can see this stuff there. Why
that's not going on where I'm at. You're not in the Congo.
You're not in the bush. You're not in the bush where these stuff is being mined out at. All right, even in the Congo. Let's take the Congo. Let's take the Congo.
Yeah, it's possible that's going on.
Do you know what it takes to get that stuff out the ground? They're dealing with hazardous
machinery.
If they're dealing with hazardous material, stuff can fall on you. They don't have any hard hats, any safety vests, any steel toe boots. They don't have the right hoses. They literally getting it out the mud. You could dig too far and release a gas, and then it kills.
You benefiting off that. You voted for a man. You voted for a white man that want to keep that going.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
No, you don't get it. You complicit. And you proving me right with your words.
Yeah, it's going over your head.
Can I interject? Can I interject something? I'm tired. I'm tired of black people making it seem as if the child mining and all this other stuff that's going on is terrible would stop if the Democrats were in office. It just doesn't make any sense. You guys are what ends up happening with black people is you end up arguing with whose master is better, and it's like those things are never going to stop regardless of who's in office. So this emphasis on you voted for a guy who went ahead and did that. Well, you voted for a guy who went ahead and did that, and so did I. We all vote for the same people who are out here doing the exact same thing. So if we're going to have these arguments, let's have them in a genuine and honest way, and talk about white supremacy and not talk about Republican, Democrat, because regardless of who's in office, guess what? If Biden was in office, this same deal likely would be going down.
And the African presidents, voted for that president too. The Africans voted for that too, for the child mining and all that. If I was the president, I seen that.
What Africans voted for that?
I'm gonna say this.
That was a strong statement you made. What Africans voted for that?
I would say America. Send me a shipping container.
Right. I knew you didn't have an answer.
Send me a shipping container of hard hats. Send me a shipping container of safety vests, of steel-toe boots. Let's get some structure and some organization around here. Send me here. We'll give you this amount. Send me some dump trucks. Send me some bulldozers
first.
Send me the bonds.
Getting rid of over here.
Send me the bonds and the treasuries.
That's why. Send me if you want this stuff. Send me some safety stuff so we can dig this stuff out the right way, and then we can take control of it the right way. If they down there digging for $1 a day, and they pulling out diamonds and oil and all that shit is toxic. Oil need to be refined. Yep. It's refined. Before you get your gasoline in your car, that's got to be refined.
So Bobo, tell me how I feel. Tell me how I feel. Tell me how does it feel to be benefiting off that?
Feels great, man. It feels great. I can't lie. It feels great. I got a steak.
That's why I can come on here and talk down on America, because it make me feel bad. I don't feel like you.
I don't feel bad. Yeah, listen.
But we're all sitting here on devices that run off these same minerals. Every single last one of us.
Right.
Every single last one. It don't matter where we are in the world. So it's not a thing that's exclusive to the United States. We are all. I'm sitting here on the cheapest device I could find, and it still has valuable minerals inside of it that make it possible for me to speak to you.
Right. So we all.
So again, we got. Yeah, but we have to talk about these things in an honest way, and not a disingenuous way, so that we can go ahead and possibly come to even correct conclusions to even start to make a change. If we sit back here and go back and forth about who's the president and blah 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 blah, you're not going to get anywhere. Because we're all in it. Anybody with a device is in it. We're all doing the same thing. It isn't just a white man. It's all of us.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. The buck stops at those leaders that's letting that stuff leave their airport. Letting those. I seen one time the Chinese found a big gem the size of an F-150. They put that shit in the shipping container and left the country. They about to break that thing up into 1,000,000 pieces. This thing the size of an F-150. I'm talking about it's a big mineral rock type thing. They said they couldn't believe they found it. You know how much stuff is still in the ground in Africa?
Ghana putting a stop to all that.
No,
Ghana, they cracking down on the legal Chinese boy, they making a lot of money.
They've been cracking down.
People starting to put a stop to that. But them leaders that you talking about, they got to be dispelled, bro. That's what's going on in Africa right now. All the crooked leaders are being put out. That's what's happening. It's still just like it's a fight for America. It's a fight for Africa too.
Well, let me say this.
But is that the case for the Ivory Coast?
As an American, they talking about this is a crumbling empire and a fallen empire and all that. I've been all through America. I go all through America and Canada every week. I drive around. This country is doing great. The infrastructure is great. We're always building something. There's always something new popping up. We're going up.
People thought the same thing before Bear Stearns went out of business, and then Lehman Brothers followed, and then the government had to pour money into America to save
America.
I'm just saying, people thought the same thing before the housing crisis.
The housing crisis. What happened?
Most people don't know how fragile the economy is until it hits. That's the point I'm making.
Man, ain't nobody out here starving to death in America. There's nobody missing any meals.
Crazy.
Who?
It's a
Where?
skid row in every city in America, bro.
Them people are on drugs and have mental illness.
Yeah, so where the money at to help them?
They listen. Have you ever? You don't know, bro.
How they don't build communities?
Go talk to a homeless person. A lot of them want to be out there. If we're being honest, a lot of them want to be out there. There's programs all throughout America right now. If you fall out the sky right now and land right in the middle of America, Candace or some shit, within 1 hour, you could be butt naked, don't speak the language, don't know nobody. Within 1 hour, you're gonna have clothes on your back, shoes on your feet, food in your stomach, and somewhere warm to sleep. That all you gotta do is call 911. Hey, it's a naked guy out here. It's gonna be within 5 minutes. They're gonna converge on you and say, "Who is this guy? Let's solve the problem." This is how great this country is. Y'all don't realize that.
They're gonna throw him in jail.
They're gonna throw him in jail.
Hey, what are you talking about?
All right. Let's say they do throw him in jail. They're gonna say, "Who is this guy? Let's get his fingerprints. Where is he from?" Okay, he's gonna get it. We're gonna feed him. We might put him in jail. We're gonna have somewhere warm to sleep. Let's put some clothes on his ass. Let's figure it out. Maybe he don't need to be in jail. Let's take him to a mental health place, or let's go. Why do you think these immigrants are running over the border? They run over the border. There's here go the carts with money, and here are houses. They know they fall over the border, crawl over the border, dive over the border. What are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about, man?
I'm talking about what I see all black people on social media talking about, bro.
What? Most people don't know how good they got it, bro. You gotta know how to take a blessing, man. You gotta know how to take a blessing. Is some shit over here fucked up? Yeah. Everywhere is fucked up, but this is the best place to be on planet Earth, period. Whether you like it or not, whether I sound like a coon or whatever you're saying, at the end of the day, we got to get back to reality.
And I'm proud
Nobody's
to be
starving.
It's the most comfortable place to be.
I got it. Only thing I was gonna add to that.
Comfortable place to be.
Comfortable.
The only thing I'm gonna add. The only thing I could add to that is that, what country is the best country in the world to live in is all a matter of perspective.
Correct.
It's not a matter of people just, as Americans tend to do, to thump our chests and act as if this is the best place to be. Right. When you go down the list of countries that people around the world think is the best places to be, America ranks high, but it's never number one. Correct. And again, that shows that it has to do with perspective. I'll share with you a story, and I'll shut up. I have an uncle in Barbados. He lived in England for 45 years. Came back to Barbados. He's been there for the past 30. And he tells me to this day, Barbados is the greatest country in the world. Now, me being the young American, Asian American kid, I was looking at him like, how could he say that Barbados is the greatest country in the world? He told me, good weather and clean water and clean water and good sunshine. Well, that was what I had to learn from then was that was his perspective. From his perspective, the things that mattered to him were all met in Barbados. And so again, when we talk about the greatest country in the world, yeah, it could be the greatest country in the world to you. And I don't doubt that America will rank very high for a lot of people, right? But we also need to remember it's not a fact, and Americans have a tendency to talk about it as if it's a in stone fact.
Let me say this: you're absolutely right about that. But what human beings want, they want stuff that's in America. The vacation destination is all of these places with this beautiful weather and all this sexy beaches and all that. They third world countries. They don't want to be there. They don't want to be there. There's people leaving these places. It's not a long line to get into these countries. It's a long line to get out. So if that's what you want for your life, yeah, sure, go for it. But most people don't want that. That's why American culture is the most popular culture in the world, specifically Black American culture. That's why, because everybody wants to be over here. If we're being honest, you don't see today. You alive today for this. We gotta drag these people out of here kicking and screaming. They shooting at the police. They don't want to go back to their countries. They don't want to go. They don't want nothing to do with them countries. You gotta kidnap these people. They say they being kidnapped off the street.
Someone needs to shut up, man. You're too much, bro. I'd like to pass it over to forefather, man.
That's too real.
With this
That's just too
Bobo.
real. It's hurting you. It's just hurting you.
Bobo. No, man. I'm in England, man. It's just the same rubbish as America, mate. Don't even talk that shit.
Not the truth. You can see it right now on the news.
No, man. You're making too much noise in just speaking. You're making noise.
Are they not dragging these people out?
Everybody. Hey, I gotta pass the mic to you, Nigel. Go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah, man. Pass the mic, please, because this Bobo character is too much.
Yeah, greetings to the viewers chat and greetings to the panelists and special greetings to Diners for hosting the show. Yeah, in terms of the title, we don't know clearly. We can't tell whether it's going to last, can we? If we are going to look at America's record in terms of whatever they negotiate, you can't always be sure which one is which one is going to end up like Japan and which one is going to end up like what is happening to Syria right now. So, or African countries. It depends on us to decide how it goes. If you look at, I think was it Vovo that was saying America is quite, about housing. I don't know about that, because there are quite a lot of countries in the world that have far less homeless people. Even among the OECD countries, America is, somewhere at the top side of the list compared to other countries. Some countries are as low as 0.00 something percent per 10,000 population, while America is somewhere around 25.3 per 10,000 population in terms of homelessness. So it's not that straightforward to say that America is the most generous country. If you look at, I don't think you've been to Europe. If you go to some European countries, if you see what they are getting there, you'll be surprised. They are living like kings there. So that is that anyway. But in terms of America's, the way they approach countries, I'm not sure how you can determine what they are going to do. I really am not sure, because America is so unpredictable. Because if you look at Syria right now, 1 minute they are siding with Syria and removing sanctions, and the next thing they are supporting Israel to destroy their Ministry of Defense. What is that all about? You can't even tell what they are all about. Maybe that's the same attitude they take with Africa too. Some countries they support when they are allied with you. Another country they don't support you; they just leave you to flounder. But it's up to African leaders to use the opportunity, isn't it? If Congolese, we all have to admit that they've not done so well for themselves up to now, even if they are up against a lot of forces that are at play. Recently, with all the Epstein controversy in America, what that tells you is that even a great nation like America, the superpower of the world, people are still worried that it's compromised. If America can even have the fear of being compromised, imagine what other countries must feel like. The forces that are at play. Nations are always competing against each other. America is tracking Germany is tracking England. They are all tracking each other left and right. It's like a war, but it's all silent. It's just that we as a people don't seem to relate to the world like that. If you look at just today, the UK and Germany, they signed the defense pact. Can you imagine how fast they move? Just because they saw America, Trump, his eye is switching left and right within Russia and NATO. Now the UK and Germany has gone ahead and signed their own defense pact. What has stopped African countries from doing that? That is a mysterious question. Why have they not done that? I think France has practically left the continent now. There's no France on the continent. They've kicked France out of almost all the countries. But yet, African leaders don't say, you know what, let's band together here. So let's pool our resources and so that we can be able to argue our cases. But they don't do that. The only people that have done that is AES that have managed to do that, to at least give themselves a little bit more weight. But African leaders can't do that. Europeans they move very, very quickly. And sure, the rest of the world move very quickly. It's just us that are slow. So this case of peace that Congolese have signed with Rwanda, we can't tell. All we can hope is that the leaders actually decide to do something good for their people. I agree with the guy that is saying that why are they digging the ground with their own hands? How I don't even know how our people allow this to happen. For the life of me, your people are digging the ground. Are we in the Stone Age? How do we allow this to happen? And people and the leaders that are sitting on that chair, many of them have traveled around the world and see that that's not how it is done. And they still allow their people to live like animals. I don't know how, I don't know where to start, whether to blame them or are we all mad or something? What is going on within our community? Some of the things we do don't make sense at all. I try to understand as much as I can. Like, okay, cut them a bit of slack. They are all colonized mindset. They are all this. But why are other people not like that? Why are other groups not like that? They at least they try to give their people a little bit of dignity. We don't seem to have any, and we don't seem to be working to defend each other. Everybody's on their own in that continent. Even West Africa, they've not even managed to pull their weights together. France is not in any, even Senegal now is kicking France out. France is no longer, doesn't have a military base in West Africa anymore. So why have they not signed the defense pact to protect their interests? A touch one. In other words, you are going to even stabilize the government, because if any government is overthrown, the Nigerian government can intervene or any other government can intervene. But they refuse to do that because they want to keep the area to still remain unstable. These people are not serious people. Our leaderships, for some reason, something happens to them when they get there. They don't want to do the right thing for the people. They know what the right thing is. I refuse to believe these college-educated people, these open-minded people that have traveled all over the world, don't know these things. They do. They just choose not to do it for whatever reason. Maybe for the same reason Americans are worried that their country is compromised, because there are forces that are played behind the scenes that we don't necessarily know. We don't necessarily know who calls the shot when the curtains are drawn. There are things, because if you look at what is going on in Gaza right now, things that goes on in the world, it doesn't make sense. If you look at how this is, sometimes Trump is behaving with Putin. The next minute he's angry with Putin. The next minute he's not angry with Putin. And Putin too, you can't even tell what he wants now. I don't even know what Putin wants anymore.
Hey, Tunaja.
Can I say something?
They on demon time.
Hey, can I get in there too?
Can I get in? Who's next?
Yeah. If you want to go, you can come in.
I think I've been waiting the longest.
Okay, Mr. Sandman, have a say.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I was going to be real brief. Yeah, this whole story about Trump, helping to create peace in the Congo kind of pulled at my heartstrings a little bit. Kind of felt like, finally, somebody cares about us, black people in the diaspora or on the continent. But then I had to think, like, okay, what was in this deal? Like, what did the Rwandans and the Congolese agree to for this peace deal? And me knowing Trump, or we knowing Trump and the way he is about profit, did they just like give away all of their natural resources for stability or something like that? Like, does anybody know like what's behind this negotiation deal?
It's likely that's what they have done.
Clickbait. I think it's clickbait. I don't think Trump cut no deal. I think he just using that just as a throw off.
They was in the White House in the Oval Office.
So what that mean?
I'm saying, I mean, what else do you need? I mean, like, what is
who was in the White House in the Oval Office? Who?
Their delegates were in the White House in the Oval Office.
Who? Delegates
the representatives from the Congo. They were literally saying something about the lady was so cute and all that. Man, be quiet, bro. Be quiet. Be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Here's the thing.
Trump
told him to chill out. That's what it is. Chill out. He got that type of power. See, he can start a war.
If Trump didn't have nobody from the M23 rebels in there, ain't no deal, bro. That was just a show for you.
M23 rebels, some rebel group that's in the bush with some old AK-47s. They don't do nothing, man. Listen. Don't you know America got satellites?
Wow. The way you speak is disgusting.
All right, man. Get off my balls, man.
Can I
bro.
say something now?
Yeah, I'm like, why you like my voice? That's what
Can
that
I
is.
say something now? I was away for a bit. Can I say something?
When you say you love,
satellites,
when you say you love the United States, what do you love about it? The people, or
I love my people. I love my people. I love my people. I love the freedom.
No, I'm talking about not just your people, but the country is majority white anyway. You love the
So
white people too?
He loves them, man. He loves them to the bone.
some of them, I got some. I know some cool white people, some great white people. I know some fucked up black people too. So that's bro, like these bad faith questions y'all be asking is really silly, man. Like what that make me question who y'all are as men. Like to be honest with you, like to be, I'm a businessman. I know how to put my feelings to the side on certain stuff. I know how to. I'm a logical thinker. I'm a critical thinker. Well, I love this country. This is my history. Right here, I'm a descendant of slaves here in this
Bro,
country.
you can't be a critical thinker if you think that M23 is not doing a serious job of theft and destabilization in the of the Congo. They are taking out with Kagame. They are taking out much of the resources from that country and earning.
And
And
doing what with it?
they're sending it all around the world. Part of what's going on with Kagame is that he is sitting quite pretty as an ex-military man, and he is basically manipulating the wealth of his neighboring state for the goodness of bandit countries. Bandit
I wouldn't
countries. What I
necessarily
mean by
say
that is the West.
That's how they're making it look. That's how they're making it look. But I wouldn't necessarily say that. You got to choose to see when it comes to that, Jagoon. You got to choose a side, whether you're gonna be on the side of the white supremacist problem, or you're gonna be on the side of the revolutionaries.
No, the thing is though,
Can I say something?
the M23 is a spoof. Wait. Let me answer you, bro. The M23. Sorry, Wildflower. The M23 is unfortunately positioned to further destabilize the country. Meanwhile, a lot of the minerals from that very area in the east of the Congo, where there's a lot of cobalt, is being taken out without even money.
On both sides. Hey, Jagu, let me tell you something. You know, if you go to Kenya, if you go to the Congo and you find some gold, right? Do you know you got to get it registered in Kenya?
Yes.
In order for you to take it out of the country. So that means you got
to
go through white supremacy. So it's going on both sides.
Yes, it is. And this is the destabilizing factor, which is why we can't get in line. We're not in line. We're all a mumbo jumbo community in Africa.
Can I say something now,
that is the position.
Sorry, just before you go, let me
say
just add something about the tactics. You know what? You go next. See about the tactics they are using. If you look at what's happening in Israel and Syria right now, Israel claims they are bombing Syria to protect the Druids, and it's similar to the kind of action Kagame is claiming to be doing inside Congo. That they are trying to protect the Tutsis in Congo, in the eastern part of Congo. So they use this sort of tactics to destabilize nations. Please go ahead.
Can I say something? I mean, I wanted to add a little bit what Nigel was saying, that the leaders in Africa are kind of like oblivious, or they don't really care about the regular citizen. I think the issue is with our leaders is that they are overseers of colonialism or administrators. They are not there to work for me as a regular citizen in East Africa as I am. They are there to serve the interests of multinational companies that are Western owned. So when the regular citizen like myself get excited and vote or whatever, I'm actually not really part of the process because the leader's already been selected. What we do have in Africa is neo-colonial puppets. Until the regular person on the street that's selling tomatoes realize that this is when we're going to have a revolution. You can't be like, oh, they see us working with our bare hands. You're under the illusion that those leaders are independent, that they have agency. They do not. Those leaders are owned by the West. And the moment every African citizen on the continent realize that, we will stand up. They don't represent us. They don't care to use our resources for us. I mean, we only got the 3 in the Sahel, but the rest of them, unfortunately, do not work for us. They work for Western multinationals. And when you do everything that makes the Western multinational become billionaires, make billionaires for their economies, these people will love you. They'll be like, oh, you're so wonderful, blah, blah, blah. We need to get out of this illusion as Africans that these leaders work for us. It's really embarrassing. We need to be more awake in our suffering and who's causing it. Those leaders, they're being used. They are puppets. And the moment we rise up, they usually get the guns out and shoot us. I think sometimes some people are going to have to take one for the team, unfortunately, so our children and grandchildren could be free. And now on
Shout
the
out to my ancestors. Shout out to my ancestors.
and on the issue of Volvo saying everyone wants to live in America. I mean, I live in the UK and I've traveled in other parts of the world. Yes, America has its good bits here, but I won't put it down as my first choice because one of the issues I noticed with the United States is that you don't have free healthcare. There is issues dealing with like other issues around race and the police and all these inequalities. And when it comes to the happiness index, America doesn't rate it high. It's a very capitalist society. If you want to make money, obviously, and that's your goal in life, then maybe it's the best place for you. But if you're looking for quality of life, organic food, organic air, good weather, no anti-blackness, freedom, America will not be the first on your option. I feel like there's other countries in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, where you could get a sense of freedom, contentment that you won't get in the States. But if you're all about the money, all about the Benjamins, and that is your driving goal in life, then maybe America, you can really do it. But other people that care about community, quality of life, peace of mind, America is not in the top. That's
Have
all
you
I
ever
need to
been
say.
to America?
No, she said it
You
well,
wouldn't even
man.
pay me
She
to
said
go
it
there. I
well.
think I've seen
I'm
it.
She
like,
said it well, man.
hey, can you get up off me, man? Yeah, get up off me, man. You like a little
I ain't getting up off you, man.
Get up
I've
off
Ain't
me,
seen
getting
man.
up off you,
America,
man.
India, and
Man, get up off
Afghanistan
me,
will be
man.
the
You
last place
Win,
you
win,
really want to
win.
visit.
Win.
hey, man, you ain't my bitch, man. You get this messed up.
Win. It's like you're trying to squeeze out shit, bro.
Have you ever? Y'all want to sound like us over there? Y'all over there
Fuck
using
that.
all
Okay,
that.
regardless of all
Fuck
that,
you, bro.
I'm the
hey,
daddy.
can I say
I'm the
something real
pappy.
quick? Let me
I'm the
say
pappy
something
of
real
the
quick.
UK.
Since Bobo did ask me what the currency was here, let me put you on some game real quick, Bobo, about France, right? France, this is how they hide their money, they wealth of their country. The CFA, France don't even use the CFA. That's what the West African currency. They use the euro. But you see what France does to hide their wealth. The 500 CFA, the $1 coin, is made of pure gold and pure silver. This is how they back up the wealth of their whole country.
No, it's not.
Yes,
no, it's not. If that was true, I'll go over there right now and just take all of it because you can melt gold down and it's still gold. Why not?
You can't take it out.
Why not?
People done got caught trying.
You should be doing it. Fool, what are you doing over there? They're passing gold and silver.
I have a registered business.
They're making transactions.
Those days of white supremacy, stealing and taking that you are used to, those days are over with, my brother. You have to accept.
Are you saying that you're somewhere where they're on the street, on the ground, passing around gold coins?
I didn't say they was passing around
you
money.
said the currency
I
is
said
gold.
the currency, the 500 CFA, the dollar is made of gold and silver. This is how France camouflages the wealth of their country.
That's just not true. It would be, everybody would
flood.
Boy,
you is just that you stupid.
Everybody would flood that place and just get all the gold and silver.
Ain't no flooding, ain't none of that, bruh. Ain't none of that. If it was that easy,
start passing around gold and silver, you want some eggs.
None of that.
Here's a piece of gold. If you want to,
you have to have a registered business for gold and silver to leave this country.
You said that the currency is gold and silver.
Yeah.
So what are they passing around on the street to settle debt?
Sometimes you get the coin, but people have realized the wealth, so they keep the 500, the coins now, and they give you the paper money.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, that's why I said it's not true. Ain't nobody walking around passing around no gold and silver nowhere on the planet.
Yeah, there is.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Here, sometimes I get a coin. Sometimes I don't.
How much the coin weigh? Because I might go.
Dum-dums like you and like I used to be.
You can take this.
No.
Have this and give me the gold. How much I get for one? How much coin do I get for this?
500. You get it. You get the gold.
How much do it weigh?
How much do
gold weigh?
Come
man,
see.
you just talking, man. You get these guys
I'm
over here.
just putting you up on game.
And that ain't no
See,
game.
and I hope it's a
Be
lot
over
of
there
people that
tomorrow.
don't believe what I'm
You
saying.
talking about getting your
I
boots
hope it
dirty
is.
on the ground. I'm gonna get these Jordans dirty. These gonna be filthy by the time I leave. They're gonna be filthy because I'm gonna be over there all just giving them this, and they're gonna give me some gold. Come on with it.
Hey, guys, we gotta close out. Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Don is Amir. Search for Huru. Peace.